federal prosecutors released yesterday that they had arrested one suspect. They described him as a ranking member of the Latin King street gang. His name is Juan Espinoza Martinez, alleging that he solicited the murder of Bovino.
Today marks 2 years since the October 7th Hamas terror attack in Israel that triggered the war in Gaza.
1,200 people killed, just under 1,200. Among them, at least 35 U.S. citizens killed, 255 people taken hostage. Many of those hostages, up to 48, still being held. It's estimated that 20 of those are still alive.
Fox's Steve Harrigan in Tel Aviv. Indirect talks between Israel and Hamas continue in Egypt on a ceasefire plan that would free all those last hostages. It's day 7 of the government shutdown. Some air traffic controllers working without pay have called out sick, leading to flight delays. America's listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
He's filing a lawsuit. Skies are cloudy, a drizzle in some spots, more rain expected throughout the day. It's 68 right now in the Circle City, the high around 75. I'm Jarrett Lewis. Here's what's trending at 9:02. A man is now suing former NFL quarterback Mark Sanchez and Fox Corporation after saying he was attacked by Sanchez, the man who was working at a hotel loading dock Saturday in Indianapolis. Once a jury trial, the lawsuit accuses Fox of failing to ensure their employee Sanchez acted reasonably, adding that they should have known Sanchez was unfit due to his behavior. The man says he suffered injuries to his head, jaw, and neck, and he and his family are seeking significant compensation as well as reasonable attorney fees. The passing of the budget by the Indianapolis City County Council taking place at last night's meeting.
We were the ones who presented the caucus's position to address our priorities in the budget. And as was mentioned tonight, this is the first budget in our 6 years, my 6 years, Councilor Hart's 6 years, of where we were involved on the ground floor.
Councilor Dan Boots says the $1.7 billion budget for next year includes funding for public safety, infrastructure, and housing in the city. Indiana State Police are now investigating a crash from Monday afternoon that killed a construction worker and injured a bus driver in Howard County. They say the bus was heading north on a county road towards State Road 22, and as the bus driver was crossing the road in a construction zone, troopers say a Dodge pickup truck was driving east and collided with the bus on its driver's side. A construction worker identified as 31-year-old Aaron Esparza was directing traffic in the area and was killed when the bus was knocked into him. The bus driver from the Northwestern School Corporation was treated at the scene for minor injuries, and 8 kids on board were not hurt. The average price of gas in the state of Indiana today, $2.96 a gallon, says Gas Buddy. In Indianapolis, gas is $2.89 on average. It'll be the Arizona Cardinals coming up next on Sunday for the Indianapolis Colts. Head coach Shane Steichen says they're now searching for a replacement kicker.
Spencer Schrader, he's going to be out for the season. He suffered an ACL and MCL, so he'll be done. Just disappointed for him. He was having a hell of a season.
Schrader had been one of the most efficient kickers in the league through the first 5 weeks. And tonight is the start of the NBA preseason for the Indiana Pacers. They'll take on the Minnesota Timberwolves before the regular season gets going on October 23rd. The Pacers will take on the Oklahoma City Thunder, who they took to 7 games in the NBA Finals last season. Traffic on the 5s. Good morning, Matt Baer.
What's happening, Jared? Looking downtown, going to the west side crash. Westbound 70 West Street, 2 left lanes blocked. Traffic stopped into the south split and now backing us up to Washington Street. Crash coming out of the north split on the east side. It's eastbound 70. After the north split, 2 right lanes closed. Traffic jammed down to the south split and on to eastbound 70 back to west. West side. Crash northbound 465 after Rockville Road. Center lane is blocked. Traffic slow to Washington Street. Delay time at 11 minutes. Inbound 65 crash clear at 30th Street, and we're still slow from 38th Kessler down to the White River. Northwest side northbound 465 delayed 5 minutes. 79th up to 865. Inbound 69 is cooled off. Still slow from 106 to 465. That is a 6-minute delay. Crash northwest side 38th Street at Lafayette Road. Traffic sponsored by Rapid Radios. Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies with nationwide LTE coverage. For a limited time, get 60% off and free UPS shipping at rapidradios.com. Use code RADIO for an extra 5% off. I'm Matt Baer on the 5s at WIBC Traffic.
Do you spend half your day walking or standing while working? If you have foot, knee, or low back pain, the Good Feet store wants to help you like we helped Tony.
Pain that I experience the most is foot pain from being on my feet all day. You're having to kind of talk to yourself through the whole shift, like, I got this, I can do this. Before, I felt defeated, and now it's like, all right, let's go. I'm ready. A whole new life, like sunshine coming on.
And here's Dennis.
working at an amusement park, it's always on your feet. I just couldn't take it. I just couldn't believe that putting these arch supports in made that much of a difference that quickly. Good Feet just took that pain away, and I could do my job, and I could take care of my family. I know what my tomorrow is going to be. It's going to be positive, and it's going to be pain-free.
You deserve a better life, too. Stop into the Good Feet store today. We're located in Castleton by the Fashion Mall or in Greenwood, just off the 65.
Thanks to the Good Feet store. Thanks to the Good Feet store.
This hour powered by Price Point Comfort Heating and Cooling, your independent American Standard Air dealer.
Forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
Cloudy with some scattered showers, maybe a rumble of thunder heading into the afternoon hours. Today's high 75. Rain ends early tonight, decreasing clouds overnight, a low down to 50. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Marcus Bailey, 93 WIBC.
And I'm Jarrett Lewis on the level on the go and on WIBC.com. Time for Kendall Casey.
You're listening to Rob Kendall.
When we talk about sending money somewhere, we're talking about printing the money because we have no money.
And Casey Daniels.
My government would never lie to me, would they?
On 93 WIBC.
Hate to do it.
Hate to do what?
Don't want to do it.
Oh, no.
But I don't really have a choice.
Okay. Hands are tied, huh?
Well, it's 9:07.
Okay.
October the 7th.
Correct.
2025. And I know we have thousands of people every day look forward to tuning into this program. And so I hate, to bring the show down by doing my least favorite part of every show.
Which is?
I'm going to talk about how right we were.
Oh, no. Right out of the gate.
But we've been telling you, our fabulous audience, now for 1 week, the federal government shutdown has entered week. This is day 7, right? Day
correct.
7 of the government shutdown.
Where is that funding deal?
Yeah, we're all still here. We're all still taking nourishment upright in the correct direction. Society running relatively smoothly. There's a famous episode of The Office where the TV show The Office, where there are just no bosses, and Jim, one of the main characters, looks at the camera and goes, it turns out if you just hire the right people and just leave them alone, they'll pretty much take care of everything
right
on their own. That's sort of how society works, right?
Life goes on.
Think about how much government we don't need. Anyway, we've been telling you from the beginning, this is not worth getting upset about or excited about or even taking an interest in, because we already know how this is going to end. The Republicans have passed Biden's spending levels because the Republicans are just as addicted to legalized vote buying and making sure their donors and lobbyists are taken care of as the Democrats. They play you people for idiots year after year after year after year. I'm not saying you are idiots, but I'm saying your zest for a better life. They are predators. The Republicans are financial predators. And they take full advantage of you wanting to believe that there's somebody out there who wants to make one damn bit of difference in our world, and these people don't, and they are predators, and they take advantage of you, and they just keep spending the money. They keep doling out the favors. They keep the gravy train rolling. They keep furthering us into debt, $37.5 trillion and climbing, and so that's their victory lap, is we passed Biden-level spending and almost all the Biden programs, and they've painted themselves as the good guy in the equation. And we said, okay, that's the first side of this. The second side is the Democrats shut the government down over continuing Obamacare, and the Republicans are absolutely going to continue Obamacare because, as I just said, they're in the legalized vote buying business. It's been a giant scam and a lie for 15 years. They have zero intention of shutting down Obamacare because too many people get too much out of it. And most importantly, their insurance friends make $1 gajillion off of Obamacare. So that's never going away. So I don't know what anybody's excited about
Worked up about?
Any of this. And boy, howdy, Casey, yesterday, on numerous occasions, we saw the Republicans start to tip their hand on exactly what they're going to do, and they're going to do exactly what we've said.
So Donald Trump said negotiations could lead to very good things regarding health care. He didn't confirm any meetings, but he hinted towards, there's some wiggle room there.
You had Marjorie Taylor Greene come out and say she's essentially in favor of the Obamacare subsidies. Now, what they try to paint what this debate about is people being able to afford their insurance. Notice they don't care at all about you being able to afford your insurance through your employer. There's not one conversation right now about, boy, we really got to do something for the hardworking people of this country. No, the conversation is mostly about making sure the freeloaders continue to get more of the free stuff, which they call them creative names like Obamacare subsidies, but it's taking money from you. Well, it's printing the money, which is making everything more expensive for you, and giving it to them so they can buy overpriced insurance to keep their insurance lobby friends very happy. That's what this is all about.
Okay, so the ACA subsidies, they're set to expire at the end of the year. And if that happens, it's being reported that the increasing premiums could go up by 75%.
So what? So what? I have paid for people to have this because it was never about making insurance more affordable. Casey, has your insurance in the past 15 years ever gotten more affordable?
No.
Has it ever gone down in price?
No.
No, absolutely not. That was a lie. If you liked your doctor, you could keep it. That was a lie. This was never about better medical care. It was never about more affordable insurance. It was about getting people addicted to government, running up the tab, making people dependent on these government programs, and helping their friends in the insurance lobby. That's what this has always been about. They don't want it to go away. The Republicans have had multiple opportunities for it to go away. They have another opportunity here because if the subsidies go away, the whole thing falls over. The Republicans don't have to do anything. Just do nothing. If you want Obamacare to go away, do nothing. But they're not doing that. They're going to cut a deal with the Democrats to keep Obamacare alive.
Yeah, Trump said he would consider a deal on extending the Affordable Care Act if the right deal came along.
Now, let's go back to what the right deal is to the Republicans, because that's what they're hanging their hat on.
Yeah.
This little working group that they formed, or focus group, or whatever they're calling them, the hard line in the sand for the Republicans, this doesn't mean means the best you're going to get. Now, they're not going to get this, but the best you're going to get is that they essentially reset Obamacare to where it was before COVID. That's their big reform to Obamacare is, sure, it wasn't doing anything we said. It wasn't helping the people that we promised to help, but we're going to reset this to where it was in 2019, 2020 levels, which they're not going to get that anyway, but that's their big line in the sand on Obamacare.
So Senator Todd Young, he has called this government shutdown a manufactured crisis caused by the Democrats.
No, it's caused by him. It's caused by them. It's caused by the Republicans because they spent all their time on this stupid big bullcrap bill, which also is a giant giveaway to select pockets of people they want to vote for them, rather than doing the actual business of the American people, rather than doing the actual things that they've campaigned on for 25 years. Oh, yeah, we've learned our lesson. One more shot. We'll get the spending under control. We'll get it all in line. We'll get government back to where it needs to be. We've learned our lesson. One more shot. And what do? It's always the same special interest priorities. It's the same legalized vote buying operations at the expense of you. So they spent how many months instead of focused on doing the business of running an efficient, lean, slimmed down government? No, they spent that time focused on this giant giveaway to make the president happy rather than do their jobs.
All right, well, here's Donald Trump, and he is still branding it as the Democrat shutdown.
If the vote today fails in the Senate, will that trigger layoffs?
It could. At some point it will. And, the Democrats are the ones that started this. And if you think about it, it's about health care to a large extent. It's about we want great health care for people. We don't want to give the money away to other people that come pouring into our country. And they've already poured because nobody's coming into our country. Now we have the border totally stopped. In fact, numbers we just announced again, we're at another zero. So we have zero for 4 months in a row. Zero people coming into our country illegally. That's a pretty good number. I'm not sure even I can believe that, Doug, if you want to know the truth. Zero.
So Trump is still saying that it's the Democrats wanting to give health care to illegals.
The whole thing sucks. To quote Rodney Dangerfield in Caddyshack, why this whole place sucks. They are painting themselves as the good guys, they being the Republicans, overdoing all the Biden stuff. What is good or decent about any of that? And if the whole goal is we must keep the government open at any cost, then we've already lost this conversation. Like, I see people like Marlon Stutzman doing the Johnny Smartass routine on social media, and I want to puke because you people are just as bad in this equation, because over the past 20 plus years, if we look at what party has been accountable for more debt, more government spending, more irresponsible government, more growth of government, Marlon, it's you and the Republicans. And yet they're doing some sort of victory lap here as though they're the good guys in all of this when they're screwing you just the same way the Democrats are, just through a different means.
You're listening to Kendall and Casey. It is 93 WIBC.
Hammer and Nigel.
America has a new favorite beer. It's Mick Ultra. If you remember, Modelo was the #1 beer in America. They're blaming Trump. The Trump administration's immigration policies have affected its sales.
Come on.
At least Cracker Barrel came out and said, hey, we screwed up. We're going to go back to the way things were. Bud Light never did.
Hammer and Nigel, weekdays 3 till 7 on 93 WIBC and WIBC.com.
Well, the Fed just sounded the alarm. The stock market is dangerously overvalued. And if your retirement savings are tied up in the market, this could be the smart time to protect and grow your savings outside of Wall Street. Hey, one option gives you a 20% upfront bonus. It's got a competitive return that's averaged 10% annually for the last 10 years.
So here's the simple math. If you invest $200,000, you get an upfront $40,000 bonus. That's $240,000. That $240,000 could earn 10% or $24,000 in the first 12 months. So in the first year, that original $200,000 could grow to $264,000. Get all the information from Bill Demery, your retirement guy. Call 317-648-5120. That's 317-648-5120. 648-5120. Bill Demery, your retirement guy.
Hey guys, it's Rob for Universal Windows Direct. You may have noticed this morning the weather's starting to change. Going to be in the 60s later this week. That means it's going to get cold before you know it. And this winter, don't feel cold and miserable in your own home. Upgrade your windows with Universal Windows Direct. If you've been thinking about doing that, now is a great time. Listen to this incredible deal going on with Universal Windows Direct. For every 2 windows you buy, you're going to get the next 2 free, plus 0% interest for 3 full years. And to top it off, you're going to get an extra $500 off your entire home improvement project. So let's review. Buy 2 windows, get 2 free, no limit. 0% interest for 3 full years, and get an extra $500 off your entire home improvement project. Now, some restrictions may apply. So to get all the details, and most importantly, schedule your totally free, no hassle, no obligation in-home estimate, call Universal Windows Direct today. 317-659-7574. 317-659-7574. Check them out on the web, universalwindowsdirect.com. Tell them Rob sent you.
Are you ready to build your custom dream home? Joiner Homes is ready to make your dream come true. Over 18 years, Joiner Homes, based out of Greenfield, have built hundreds of homes in central Indiana. And the best place to start is joinerhomes.com. That's where you'll find pricing, photos of completed Joiner homes to inspire you, available home sites, and info on where you can visit their model homes, and a lot more. Be sure to check out Joiner Homes' 5-star Google reviews. Get started today at joinerhomes.com.
Hey, listen to this. All I needed was a new starter. Got a great deal on eBay. Did it myself.
Yeah, that's cool. But how about the soft purr of an upgraded exhaust when it fits just right?
For me, it's the little things, like these new windshield wipers from eBay I installed.
From small fixes to big upgrades, eBay has all the parts you need at prices you'll love, guaranteed to fit every time. eBay, things people love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Fostech is the family-owned business that makes incredible firearms right here in Indiana. Fostech, created by 2 career firefighters and 1 U.S. Air Force veteran, they create special, unique firearms. American craftsmanship meeting cutting-edge technology. Their Origin 12 shotgun is the envy of the industry, and all their products are designed, machined, assembled, and tested right here in Indiana. Follow Fostech on Facebook and Instagram at Fostech_INC. Find a dealer near you, or visit Fostech.com. That's Fostech. Fostech.com. Use promo code WIBC for 10% off your order.
Join us every Friday right around 5:50 for Beer Sample Friday.
Brought to you by Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus, home of free delivery within 75 miles of their store.
At Price Point Comfort Heating and Cooling, our mission is to provide honest assessments and recommendations. We promise you'll never be sold something you don't need.
PricePointComfort.com. They are your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air dealer.
Casey, I have a big concern.
What's that?
I am beginning to think our elected officials have no idea what they're doing.
Are they not aware that they have to pass a balanced budget?
Why
Everybody's bragging about we passed a balanced budget because you have to.
I'm very concerned about people at a local level, and I'm very concerned about people at a state level.
Is there anything we can do?
Because I see whether it's the governor or now the mayor of Indianapolis making it a talking point, which means somebody wrote it down. Somebody hit send.
Yeah.
Somebody, I would hope, read and reviewed and approved and said,
looks good.
In this case, Mr. Mayor, before that, Mr. Governor, does this look good to you? So I'm going to say this as slow as I can and still put it in a coherent sentence.
Okay.
So that hopefully now it will register, because the radio guy, no, look, I know local government and state government better than about 99.9% of the people out there walking. I get that. But this is pretty elementary stuff that if you're an elected person, you should probably have a firm grasp on. And these people would never just lie for the sake of manipulation. I refuse to believe that they actually know what's going on and they're just lying for the sake of manipulation.
All right, if you want to go there.
So as an educational tool here, I'm going to say this very slowly, all right? And everybody hearing my voice right now, whether it's your mayor or your city council or your town council or your county council or whoever it is, tries this routine with you, you just say it in the same way I'm saying it right now. Or you say it right back to them, because either they're woefully uninformed or they are manipulative, deceptive, habitual liars trying to fool and con you into thinking they did something.
Can't believe that.
And either way, they need this said to them. You have to pass a balanced budget as a local or state official.
Okay.
Follow up.
Yeah.
That is because you can't print money.
Oh.
There, was that simple enough?
Yeah, I got it.
Look at what we did. We did what we have to do. We don't have an option. Look at us. Yay!
Congratulations.
Yay! That was the talking point from Joe Hogsett last night about the city's $1.7 billion budget. We balanced it.
Yeah.
No kidding, idiot.
You had to.
I'm not running for nothing.
I'm running from something.
I'm running from things. I wish he'd do that. They should mandate, in order for him to ever get to speak at any meetings going forward, that he should have to do that. That should be his introduction every time he takes the floor to speak. What a disgrace these people are.
Could be his ringtone on his phone.
Oh my gosh.
So the budget passed 17-8 by the City County Council, and they did address the $43 million shortfall. They said they're going to do that through agency reductions and higher permitting fees. So
wait.
You know what a permitting fee is.
Say that again. Say that again for yeah.
They're going to address the shortfall through agency reductions and higher permitting fees.
Oh no, it's agency reductions. Oh no. But what was the second part of that?
Higher permitting fees.
So let's see. If you have to have a permitting fee to do something, that's a tax, right? So they raise taxes. Okay,
Correct.
very good. Just want to make sure that we did that.
Yeah. Public safety on the list. They were exempt from any cost cutting. The IMPD budget is going to raise 6% to $358 million. It's up 46% since 2023.
Okay, but this would be my question, because this is the new Hogsett MO ever since, maybe 22. Is he just throws a bunch of money at IMPD and goes, look, I'm so pro-police. Look at what I did. How is it going to make it better? There's no point in throwing a single extra dollar at anything without a very clear plan. See, government never does this. And Tony got into this a little bit on his morning show, and he's absolutely right. And I harp on this with these clowns in Warehouseburg all the time. What are you trying to do? What's the clear vision by which we can judge, are you succeeding or not? And governments, I'm talking across the board, there is almost never a clear standard by what are we trying to do? What is the goal of this government? How do you judge us if it's successful or not? So in the case of IMPD, simply throwing money at someone going, here, catch, look at me, I love the police, that's not doing the city any favors. There should be a clear spelling out. This is the money we're paying. This is where the money's going. This is how you're going to judge if it was successful or not. And if it doesn't work, then we'll cut the budget going forward. You don't get a blank check just because you put police by your name. And yet, on almost none of this, at least from the mayor's office, there's any sort of clear leading of standards by which he should be judged, because we know he doesn't want any standards.
So the question is, what does success look like?
Right. And you almost never get that on how to be judged, because then that holds people accountable.
So there was some political tensions going on as well. Councilor Ron Gibson, he called the question to end the debates last night. So we're done here. Let's just vote.
Yeah, that's right.
And other people were saying, well, wait, we're being silenced.
Sure.
This is censorship.
Well, at least they didn't call the cops on people this time.
Have them removed.
I mean, it's a huge upgrade.
And there was a big debate about urban forests.
Have you ever delved it? So there are
that's an oxymoron, isn't it?
Well,
urban forest.
Okay, so
it's like jumbo shrimp.
This has actually gotten a lot of talk lately because there are pockets in Indianapolis and Marion County that have large tracts of what we would, forest is a strong word, but large tracts of tree line and et cetera. Forest is a very strong word, but for the sake of this discussion, we'll call it that. And it's, what do you want to do with this? There are people who feel very strongly about preserving those plots of land and keeping that as one of the few remaining tracts of densely populated vegetation. How about that?
Some green space.
Yeah, thank you very much. Because again, forest, I don't know. But this has become a big point of contention about how do you do it? How do you preserve it? If you want to preserve it, do you want to turn it over to a developer? And that sounded like that continued played out last night.
Yeah, Councilor Michael Paul Hart, he proposed $2 million for it. It was voted down, mostly by the Democrats.
All right, we got to take a break. When we come back, Ryan Hedrick is going to join us. He has been doing all sorts of boots on the ground reporting, information finding on on what actually took place with Mark Sanchez, and he has a whole bunch of amazing information that he has been able to put together. I actually talked on the phone yesterday with the attorney for Sanchez. If you ever do anything wrong, you don't want Ryan Hedrick trying to track you down. Yeah, that guy's relentless.
He's going to share his info coming up from 93 WIBC.
It's time. You've been putting off that kitchen or bath remodel long enough. What are you waiting for? Get started today with Boer Remodeling. Boer Remodeling customer Kathy had a bath remodel with Boer. Kathy, talk a little bit about your experience.
Our experience with Boer has been terrific. The process was so easy and seamless. When we decided to do a larger remodel of our first floor, Boer was the first company we thought of hiring.
And were you happy with the results?
The results are amazing, and we are so happy with our home and the work that Boer did.
Peter is another recent Boer Remodeling customer with a new kitchen. Peter, what was the best part about working with Boer?
We especially liked the active participation that we were able to have in selection of stone for the countertops. Really came out beautiful. The cabinets also came out very, very well.
The best materials, the most skilled craftsmen in Central Indiana. They'll guide you through the entire process. Start with a free consultation. Talk to Boer Remodeling today. That's BOOHER, BoerRemodeling.com.
At Life Church, we believe that the truth of the Word of God is for all ages and vital to their ability to thrive in our current culture.
Barna research shows a child's faith is often set by age 13. That's why we're passionate about reaching kids and teens with truth and love right now.
With safe spaces, committed volunteers, and a foundation built on God's Word, Life Church is here to help your whole family grow in Jesus.
Whether your kids are just starting out or learning to own their faith, we're ready to walk that journey with you.
Go to lifechurchin.com for service times and locations. Parents, you can do this. We will help you.
At Community Health Network MD Anderson Cancer Center, you'll talk with an oncologist within 48 hours of your diagnosis, so you won't have to wait to start finding answers.
They got me in pretty quickly to meet my team. They gave me the plan and what they knew and what they wanted to do. I was really impressed with the care team and the approach they took.
Learn more about Community MD Anderson at ecommunity.com/cancer.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Accusing him of spying. Cloudy and 68 in Indianapolis. The night today around 75. I'm Jarrett Lewis. Here's what's trending at 9:30. The FBI is claiming former special counsel Jack Smith was tracking private communications of multiple Republican senators during his investigation into the January 6th, 2021 Capitol riots. Wisconsin GOP Senator Ron Johnson is believed to have been one of the surveilled lawmakers.
Expose this so that the American people really do understand who and what party is the threat to democracy. Here's a hint. It's not Republicans.
It's not clear exactly why the lawmakers' records were sought or whether they were the target of the probe. Other senators believed to have been tracked are Lindsey Graham, Marsha Blackburn, and Josh Hawley. Hundreds of National Guard troops could soon hit the streets of Chicago, this after a district judge refused a request by Democrats to block a federal deployment of the troops.
Some 400 Texas National Guardsmen have been called up with the cooperation of Governor Abbott. The Illinois National Guard has been called up, and the Illinois Attorney General challenged that in court. Now, yesterday, U.S. District Judge April Perry refused to block the deployment of the Guard, saying simply there were voluminous court filings and she needed time to read all of them. But it came with great displeasure to Illinois' Governor J.B. Pritzker.
Fox's Mike Tobin reporting the White House responded to Mayor Johnson's executive order, saying that it shields violent and criminal illegals and that it abandons the citizens of Chicago. And it's day 7 of the government shutdown with still no clear solution after a pair of test votes failed in the Senate last night. It's possible the Senate could take test votes again today, but the same result is expected. Your opening bell report on 93 WIBC brought to you by Absolute Wealth Management. The Dow is up 77 points, 46,694. The S&P 500 also up 8 points, 6,740. And the NASDAQ in the green, 50 points, 24,978. I'm Jarrett Lewis on The Level, on the go, and at WIBC.com.
Energy slipping? Losing your edge? It could be low T. Take action. Synergen X and Low T Center offer a quick free T test.
Get pharmaceutical-grade testosterone, never compounded, personalized by experts just for you. Most insurance covers it. The best you is waiting. TRTMVP.com.
Dear driver, thank you. Thank you for slowing down when you saw the orange cones and road construction signs. My husband is one of those road workers. And today, you saved his life. If you hadn't slowed down, you would have missed that lane change, driven right into the work zone, and you would have killed him. Because you were driving differently. He'll be at our son's Little League game this weekend. He'll be there to walk our daughter down the aisle. He'll be out there tomorrow, making Indiana's roads safer. Thank you.
When driving in a construction zone, be smart, be alert. Be in the zone.
This is Brian Short, business manager for the Indiana Laborers District Council. Everyone deserves a safe place to work. Do your part in the cone zone. Slow down, save lives. We're all in this together.
A message from Indiana's District Council of Laborers International Union of North America and affiliated locals.
Pat Sullivan here for Gutter Helmet. Are you still putting screens on your gutters? You know, if the holes are too big, debris gets in and you're still cleaning your gutters. If the holes are too small, it sits on top and now you're cleaning the screens. I have Gutter Helmet on my home and it has no holes, slots, or screens. It keeps the debris out and the water in. Since 1981, Gutter Helmet has been America's #1 choice for gutter protection. Right now, Gutter Helmet is offering a 17% discount plus 12 months no interest financing if paid in full within 12 months. Call 800-5HELMET, that's 800-5HELMET, to schedule a free estimate. 17% off, restrictions apply, and cannot be combined with other offers. Call Gutter Helmet today at 800-5HELMET, that's 800-5HELMET, or gutterhelmetindy.com, and never clean your gutters again.
All right, so still a lot of moving parts with the Mark Sanchez saga. It's Kendall Casey show. I'm Rob, that's Casey, joined in studio by WIBC newsman extraordinaire Ryan Hedrick. Ryan, hello.
What's up, Rob? How are you?
Okay, so
good morning, Case.
So it came out yesterday that there was a little confusion on this, but that Mark Sanchez has secured the services of the firm connected with Jim Voiles, who is arguably the most high-profile attorney in the city of Indianapolis.
Yeah, and he's in London right now.
With an Alex Pillow.
Yeah, with Alex Pillow. So I called him yesterday to see if there was some way that we could get a comment, and he kind of laughed and said, I'm not going to comment. And I said, well, would you consider commenting after the case is done, and he laughed again. He said, listen, I'm trying to be nice, but I'm not going to comment. I'm never going to comment about any cases I'm involved with.
So Jenny Lukenmeyer, is his sort of right-hand person. I think she's handling this right now. So obviously, I don't think this is anybody's surprise, Sanchez is sparing no expense in his legal defense.
Yeah, everybody has a dream team, right? OJ had a dream team that got him off, so this is Mark Sanchez's version of a dream team, and I guess he needs it after the Marion County prosecutor filed a felony charge, bringing a total of 4 charges now, 3 misdemeanors and 1 felony for the serious bodily injury that he caused.
Now, the other big public news, and I want to get to how you spent your day yesterday, was that now there is a civil lawsuit that's been filed.
Yeah, there's no punitive amount damage, but I guess this guy is disfigured now. The 69-year-old grease delivery guy who was up until a couple of weeks ago an illegal immigrant. He is now
Whoa.
Yeah.
Say that again?
So he was up until a couple of weeks ago not living here legally. He was in the process.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he was in the process. So this is not a case involving an illegal immigrant. He's now an American citizen, and he was celebrating the fact that he was making the most of his opportunities in America. And his family says, look, he was just trying to do his job when he was attacked by Mark Sanchez. So now he's in a neck brace. He's battered, bruised, and beaten, and he's still recovering. I reached out to his attorney, Eric May, this morning. We sent him an email to see if he'd talk about this because he's making the media rounds. I think he was on CBS News last night. He did not get back to me as of, 9:30? So we're waiting to hear from him.
Ryan Hedrick from the WIBC Newsroom is our guest. He spent much of his day yesterday, and we'll get to that here in a second, digging on what actually took place or alleged to have taken place with the whole Mark Sanchez saga. Casey.
Yeah, I'm just wondering, so part of this lawsuit that the alleged victim is bringing is also against Fox, because they're saying that they were unfitness as an employer and that Mark Sanchez had a propensity for drinking.
Yeah.
And or harmful conduct. Is this something they're going to have to prove over this is a pattern of behavior?
I think they're probably going to have to do that because I know when people are high risk and they're hired by companies, they usually have to divulge their past and come clean and swear on a stack of Bibles that they're not going to do this stuff again. I don't know if I've never heard of Sanchez misbehaving. I've never heard of him getting an OWI or a DWR, beating up people in public. So I don't know the gist of that complaint. I mean, I guess that he's saying that his employer should be fully accountable for everything he does off the clock. It's not like Sanchez beat this guy up at Lucas Oil Stadium.
Okay, I want to ask you about this because this is your take your reporter hat off for a second. Your wheelhouse is, you've admitted this and you've spent much of your last several years helping people with addictions because of your struggle with addiction. When a guy has no history of this, it's one thing if you, and maybe he does have a history of it and it just never got reported, but it's just kind of weird that Casey and I were talking about this off air, that let's say the guy did drink too much, or do something too much, which I believe is at the heart of sort of these allegations. Is it possible that somebody did something to him that he
made him act that way?
Used to consuming? I'm just trying to figure out how, if you don't have a propensity to do this, that it gets to this point. I think that's what people are struggling with.
Yeah, well, on the Supporting Sobriety podcast that myself and Matt Baer host, I've been upfront about my struggle. So in 2007, I thought I was going to get blackballed from radio. I was working in Baltimore. That was then 1300 AM. It was an ESPN radio station that at the time Dan Patrick had an afternoon show, his syndicated show with Rob Dibble, if you could remember that. And I was doing sports updates during Dan Patrick's syndicated show. And at the time, I had a really bad drug problem I was covering the Orioles and the Washington Wizards and the Baltimore Ravens. I was kind of all over the Mid-Atlantic map. And when they had to fire me because I didn't show up for a sports update for one day, a no-call, no-show, my boss, Dave Labrosi, who has since retired, told me that if we continue to employ you, you are now a liability because of your drug using and your alcohol using, and we can't account for anything that you may do in a public setting, especially because I had credentials to cover these teams and that's special access. So those words really resonated with me. As I'm covering Mark Sanchez's story, I can totally dig where the plaintiff's side is coming from, because if and when Fox Sports decides to take disciplinary action against him, say they keep him on staff and he does this again, say at a Christmas party or something, they could be on the hook.
And this is a totally naive question, but is it possible somebody did something to a drink or something? Because it just doesn't seem like
spiked a drink for Mark Sanchez?
Well, I'm not saying that happened. I'm just saying I think this is what people are struggling with. Is, as you've said, at least publicly, and you've looked into this, and you're a great reporter, there doesn't appear to be any track record of, hey, the guy gets violent and beats people up, or, you know.
You don't know what he drank, though. I mean,
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I used to drink 100 proof liquor. I mean, this stuff was just, I used to mix it with Coke. And not cocaine, just Coca-Cola.
Right, sure.
And when I mixed this 100 proof with Coke, I got angry. I got very confrontational. So, I mean, we're just hypothesizing right now, right?
Well, his friends and his former teammates, they're starting to speak out, and they're saying that he's such a nice guy and it's just so out of character. And they even said that they want to investigate and get to the bottom of what happened. Like, they're making it sound like he's partially a victim in this.
Well, I mean, he's going to play the victim because he's on the defensive right now. Not only is he on the hook for the felony charge and 3 misdemeanors, but he's on the hook for potentially millions and millions and millions of dollars. I mean, Voiles is not going to work pro bono, right? This is going to cost him a lot of money. This is going to cost him a lot of money and a lot of credibility, maybe tear down his reputation. I mean, look at what Tom Brenneman said, dropped a racial slur on the air, and he's still struggling to get back, and he didn't assault anybody.
Ryan Hedrick from the WIBC Newsroom is our guest. Okay, so you spent much of your day, I mean, this is just great on-the-ground reporting, trying to get information from people that may have been witnesses, that were witnesses. Kind of, can you give us high level some of the things that you learned yesterday about what's alleged to have taken place?
So the alley is Osage Street, South Osage Street. It's technically not an alley, it's a street that runs between Maryland and West Washington. To the east is North Senate Avenue. So I went behind the Westin because I couldn't figure out exactly where this fight took place. So I did locate the bay where this worker was working to trade out the oil in this fight that the prosecutors and the cops say happened. So I paced it out, and if they started throwing blows by the fryer dispensary, it's about 237 feet, 79 yards, 3/4 of a football field, that Sanchez would have had to have walked northeast, up the alley to West Washington Street, stabbed in the torso.
Because the videos come out now, one of these street cams of him, and you could, I mean, it's a black and white camera, but you can see him with the stain and him holding it.
It definitely looks like he got stabbed like right below the pectoral muscle, because the majority of the blood that is seen coming from him is right under that pectoral muscle. So if you took a shot kind of right around the chest, you'd start bleeding down, obviously not up. And then he proceeds east up West Washington Street by Pronta Pizzeria, right, where Lupe Martinez owns it. I talked to him. That's another story. And then he proceeds to the pub to bang on the window and get help at about 12:30.
But you pointed out how far he had to go.
79 yards. That's 3/4 of a football field. So I had a buddy that got stabbed in a bad drug deal on the south side of Chicago 10 years ago. I called him to ask him what would Mark Sanchez have had to endure being stabbed near the chest. And he said 2 things, man: fight or flight, or just sheer endurance would have to win out before you walk that way. And then as you walk, because he was walking, he got in a fight with somebody and had to walk to a police station, walk in the precinct, maybe about half the distance that Sanchez did. He said he collapsed. So Sanchez was, by the time he was banging on the window, you could probably assume that he was out of gas. He was worried. He was losing breath. His heart was probably fluttering, and he's probably having a difficult time breathing at that point.
So he's probably very lucky to be alive.
For sure. I mean, the bartender, who's also the general manager, applied pressure in the wound, called the cops. And I have a hard time believing that this guy, who basically works in a sports bar, didn't know it was Mark Sanchez. Maybe he didn't, I don't know. But Mark Sanchez is a pretty recognizable character around here, right? Didn't he beat the Colts like years ago?
Yeah, thank you for bringing that up. Okay, before I let you go, I did want to ask you this. Like, have you sort of put together sort of what is alleged to have happened? Like, can you just, like, in a minute sort of explain how, like, from the instigation to what happened? So somebody driving in the road goes, okay, now I get, because there's just so much info out there. And it comes in bits and pieces. Can you sort of put it together in a...
So just imagine just two guys brawling. They're going side to side. They're swinging, hitting each other. And Sanchez is on top of this guy.
And it was over the guy's car being parked somewhere?
Well, that's what Ryan Mears said, over a parking spot. I don't know if it was over a parking spot or the alcohol exacerbated the feelings that Sanchez just got angrier and angrier. But imagine guys swinging and kicking and fighting for their lives. One guy gets the better part of another guy and in a panic reaches up and pokes him in the chest with the knife, and Sanchez staggers back. He's holding his chest. He's starting to bleed, and he's like, I'm in trouble here. This guy is probably more than I could handle at this point. And now he certainly staggers 3/4 of a football field to...
Unbelievable.
Do we know, was Sanchez on his way back to the hotel?
No, I don't know that. And I went to 2 bars yesterday, not to give back my clean time, but to ask if Sanchez was drinking at those bars along Maryland Street.
Yeah.
Nobody would touch it. Nobody would say anything. One guy at Connor's Pub looked at me and smiled and said, I don't know anything. So I don't know anything from that standpoint.
Well, you're going to stay on it. And I told Casey yesterday, I said, if there's one guy I would not want looking into me, it's you.
Well,
if I was alleged to do something felonious.
I did send an email to the property management company, and they have yet to get back to me about surveillance video. So I'll share that with you.
All right, so there's a pretrial conference which is set for November 4th at 8:30. In the meantime, you're going to stay on this, aren't you?
I will definitely.
You're the best, man. Thank you.
Thanks for having me on.
You're listening to Kendall and Casey. It's 93 WIBC.
Coming up on the Hammer and Nigel show, more fallout from the Mark Sanchez arrest. Plus, is the government still shut down? 3 o'clock, 93 WIBC.
Greetings from R&R Agency, your Indiana health insurance pros, and a sincere thank you to our loyal customers for helping us to another record year. We recently saved a 62-year-old retiring couple over $800 monthly when compared to their COBRA offerings. We recently saved a family of 4 over $400 monthly when compared to their $7,500 deductible program on the ACA, and you know that's still Obamacare. We recently saved a small 4-man manufacturing company over $1,000 monthly and gave them better coverage. We feature coverages guaranteed to age 65, low out-of-pocket expenses, the largest networks in the country, and you can sign up anytime. If you are retiring early, self-employed, or need coverage for your small group, call us at 317-563-0868 or go to rragency.org. If you don't call us, we can't help you. What do you got to lose? Call us, 317-563-0868 or go to rragency.org. As always, God bless America, common sense government, and peace through strength.
Transform your home with Galaxy Concrete Coatings. You can say goodbye to cracked, stained, and dirty old floors and hello to durable, stunning surfaces that last. Their cutting-edge technology ensures a beautiful finish every time, and you get to pick out the color. Upgrade your home today by calling Galaxy Concrete Coatings. They're for garage floors, driveways, pool decks, and patios, and they come with a lifetime warranty and one-day professional installation. The phone number, 877-417-0635. You can find them online, too. GalaxyConcreteCoatings.com.
Who needs a Vegas trip to win big? McCordsville's got the jackpot right here. Financial Center, your newest credit union, is throwing a sidewalk series from September 30th through October 17th, every Tuesday through Friday from 11 to 2. Play games, win prizes, and enter a giveaway for $1,000 cash. So skip the long flight and just join Financial Center on the sidewalk. Find out more and explore exclusive offers at fcfcu.com/McCordsville. Federally insured by NCUA. Giveaway terms and conditions apply.
Truck drivers, the holiday rush is here. Take advantage by becoming a Schneider driver. By driving for one of America's busiest carriers, you'll stay busy during the holiday season and throughout the new year. Plus, as a Schneider driver, you'll have access to top quality driver support and newer equipment spec'd with the latest safety and comfort features that drivers want. Don't wait. Get a jump on 2026 by exploring jobs in your area today at SchneiderJobs.com. That's SchneiderJobs.com.
Let's go! You're still glowing, flirting, grooving,
You've still got it, but your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Head online to the contest page at WIBC.com and enter for your chance to win a pair of tickets to see Trans-Siberian Orchestra Thursday, December 4th at Gainbridge Fieldhouse.
So 2026 is shaping up to be a fascinating year for music because there's a lot of old-time bands, very popular bands, that are at least pondering getting back together.
Yeah, well, Rush has announced they're not just pondering it, they're going to do it. Their first tour in 2026, right? It's their first tour since the death of their drummer, Neil Peart.
So, yes, that was, what, 2020
is when he passed away.
And they last toured together in 2015. Rush, who people don't know, that's a three-piece group. They have many songs you've heard of, much like Cream in the sense of a phenomenal amount of sound for a three-piece group. And their drummer, who was also wrote most of the lyrics to their songs, Neil Peart, he passed away, he had cancer, and they had kind of declared, much like Led Zeppelin did at the death of John Bonham, hey, Rush died with Neil Peart, and now Geddy Lee and gosh darn it, who's the other guy? He's the least famous of the three. Anyway, it's horrible. I'm blanking on the guy's name. Anyway, the two living members.
Alex Lifeson.
Thank you. Thank you very much. They decided they were going to get back together. They have a replacement drummer. It's actually a woman.
It is. Her name is Anika Niles.
Who is a pretty known quantity. And they're actually going to, and I give Rush credit. They're admitting what they're doing here. They're going to, for the first time ever, really have some backup musicians. Geddy Lee came out and was kind of like, hey, look, we're old, and we're doing this as a tribute.
And they're going to add some additional musicians just to kind of expand their sound and their stage presence.
Yeah. So, I mean, look, I give them credit because I'm sure they're going to not decline the money that comes with this. So they're not running a soup kitchen here. But they are saying, we want to do this as a tribute. We, the two remaining members, felt this would be a great tribute, and we want to do this. And we recognize now at our advanced age some of the limitations that we're going to have. Although I feel like a group like Rush can get away with it because Geddy Lee is not Michael Jackson or Mick Jagger up there on stage.
Right, he's not running around on stage.
So you can kind of get away with it and pass, and it'll be fine. So I think if you're a fan, and Casey, there's two shows at the United Center in Chicago I saw.
I know. Thursday, July 16th and Saturday, July 18th. Tickets go on sale October 17th for the show.
I'm okay with this because they're admitting up front what it is.
It's a celebration of 50 years of Rush music.
And they're telling you that we're adding people and it's not going to be Rush circa 1980. But if you love our music and you want to pay tribute to a great member of this band, and this may be the last time we do this, then come see us. I'm totally okay with this. Totally fine.
When you and I were talking about this last night, I realized I have seen Rush in concert. It was circa 1988.
Oh, wow.
And I thought about it, and I was like, wow, Rob was, 4? I was just out of high school, and you weren't even in kindergarten yet.
Yeah, but I probably had Rush on the radio at
hopefully
some point.
Another band that is talking about reuniting is Fleetwood Mac. There's been rumors swirling about them.
I see what you did there. Rumors.
Yeah.
I see what you did.
Nice. So, Stevie Nicks and Mick Fleetwood, they've both publicly wished Lindsey Buckingham a happy birthday. Many people are saying, things are warming up between them, and now are they going to go on the road?
The only thing more entertaining about Fleetwood Mac than their music is their feuding. And there's been, obviously, when you had the McVies, Christine and John McVie, who were part of Fleetwood Mac for years, obviously you had the Lindsey Buckingham, Stevie Nicks dynamic. You had Mick Fleetwood and Stevie Nicks dynamic. I mean, just this bizarro thing of who's hooking up with who and who's doing what. And then, obviously, Christine McVie, who... Look, Stevie Nicks gets kind of all the credit. I think Christine McVie was 100 times the singer that Stevie Nicks ever was, and I think a lot of her songs that she led on were better than the Stevie Nicks songs. She passed away.
John McVie, he retired.
Right, and then Buckingham and Fleetwood, or Buckingham and Nix? I can't remember, keep track of this most recent one. They got into it, said, okay, we're done. I think at one point Stevie Nicks and Lindsey Buckingham went out as a pair. I don't know. Like I said, I know maybe it was McVie and Buckingham. I don't know. Anyway, I think they're talking about all the four living ones getting back together.
Yeah, and going on tour. It would be something. It would definitely be a commercial success. So the Rush thing, definitely happening. Fleetwood Mac, maybe. You're listening to Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC. Coming up next, Jacob Stewart from IndyStar is going to join us.
Yeah, he's got a big article about BlackRock potentially buying AES. That is bad news for ratepayers.
You probably have a dream retirement in mind, but do you know how to get there? The difference between dreaming and living your ideal retirement comes down to having the right plan. And that's where Howard Bailey Financial can help. At Howard Bailey Financial, we've created a free retirement toolkit to help you bridge the gap between where you are now and where you want to be. Text DREAM to 888-262-1104 to download your free retirement toolkit that includes a retirement checklist, Social Security decisions guide, estate planning guide, and more. We want your dream retirement to be your reality. And it starts by texting DREAM to 888-262-1104. Let us help you take the next step toward the retirement of your dreams. Howard Bailey Securities, LLC is an independent financial services firm and uses a variety of different investment strategies. Please see disclosures at howardbailey.com.
Garage door problems? Call today for service today. Garage Doors of Indianapolis services all makes of garage doors 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Call today for service today. 875-4577. Call today for service today. Get it fixed right now. Call Garage Doors of Indianapolis at 875-4577 or visit doorstoday.com.
In the morning, call 875-4577.
Service today?
Today.
Hi, this is Denny Smith for LD Smith Plumbing. If your skin feels dry, your laundry's rough, or your dishes come out spotty, you're likely dealing with hard water. I've seen it in my own home, and a water softener truly makes a difference. Right now, Lance and his team are offering $750 off through the end of the month. Your water will feel better, your appliances will last longer, and it's an upgrade that's definitely worth it. Call 317-927-7186 or visit ldsmithplumbing.com today.
Simple Quarters has helped over 3,000 families sell their homes in Indiana.
And it's really important to me, too, why we're getting to do this, is that you get to go be with Bay.
I get to go be with my husband.
Simple Quarters was the best option for me because I ended up connecting with Ronnie on a personal level. There was no BS involved. It was simply straightforward, to the point, honesty, and that is what made me go with Simple Quarters.
Call Simple Quarters 317-900-HOME.
Do you need furnace or heat pump service and need to find a local well-trained expert you can trust like Family Heating and Air Conditioning? We'll find that American Standard air dealer at IndyHomeComfort.com.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
If Ernest Hemingway was alive today, would he say this to you?
Shakespeare, Mark Twain, Edgar Allan Poe, all great writers. And after reading your book, I simply must add you to the list.
Wait, you don't have a book yet, so make a free call to Page Publishing. Turn your book idea into publishing gold.
800-215-6818. 800-215-6818. That's 800-215-6818.
Coming up in 2 minutes from the Technology Recycler Studios, who's filing a lawsuit in the incident involving former NFL quarterback Mark Sanchez, and what one Indianapolis City County Council member is saying after the passing of the budget. You're listening to 93 WIBC, WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. Time for Fox News. It's 10 o'clock.
A historic betrayal of public trust.
I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. That's what Attorney General Pam Bondi just told senators at a hearing, that during the Biden administration, the FBI
secretly investigated you and your colleagues. Why? They wanted to take President Trump off the playing field.
That surveillance dates back to Special Counsel Jack Smith, who the president at Truth Social Post calls a sleazebag. In the investigation into the January 6th Capitol riot, Smith tracked the phone records of 9 Republican senators.
This is the kind of conduct that shatters the American people's faith in our law enforcement system.
But Democratic Senator Dick Durbin just told Bondi the opposite is happening, that it's the FBI weaponizing government now.
Our nation's top law enforcement agency has become a shield for the president and his political allies.
And he's critical of the hundreds of pardons President Trump gave those convicted in the Capitol riot.
Jared Weiss was filmed on January 6th, encouraging his fellow rioters to attack the Metropolitan Police Department officers. And he said, F them, kill them. What happened to Mr. Weiss? He's been hired by you as a senior advisor.
And Durbin and Bondi just had a back and forth moments ago about the Trump crackdown on crime and protests over immigration raids.
The word is, and I think it's been confirmed by the White House, they are going to transfer Texas National Guard units to the state of Illinois. What's the rationale for that?
The National Guard are on the way to Chicago. If you're not going to protect your citizens, President Trump will.
Now, a federal judge has already blocked the president from sending troops to Portland, Oregon. Today marks 2 years since the Hamas terror attack in Israel, killing nearly 1,200 people, taking more than 250 hostage, triggering the war in Gaza. Israel and Hamas are in indirect talks today in Egypt on a ceasefire plan.
Part of phase one, the release of 48 hostages by Hamas, 20 of whom who are believed to be alive. In return, Israel expected to release 250 Palestinian prisoners serving life sentences.
That's Fox's Steve Harrigan in Tel Aviv. America's listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
He's suing Sanchez and Fox. Cloudy and 69 on Monument Circle. Showers in some spots. The high in the mid-70s today. More rain possible throughout the day. I'm Jarrett Lewis. It's now 10:02. The man who says he was attacked by former NFL quarterback Mark Sanchez in downtown Indianapolis this past weekend is now suing Sanchez and Fox Corporation. The man says Fox should have known about Sanchez's bad behavior and propensity for drinking. The man says he suffered injuries and emotional distress from the fight. He wants a jury trial and serious cash. Sanchez had a battery charge upgraded to a felony on Monday. The Indianapolis City County Council voting to pass the proposed 2026 budget, and council member Brian Mowry is not happy about how it went down.
This has been an absolute apparent display of power by them. Councilor Gibson, the one that wants to rubber stamp everything the mayor does, is now going to go out and censor and silence so many voices, is absolutely disgusting.
The mayor's office says the $1.7 billion budget is on time and balanced with funding for infrastructure and housing. 3 illegal immigrants from Venezuela who are recently residing in Chicago are arrested in Posey County as deputies say they were stealing from an ATM. Vanderburgh County K-9 units and Evansville police drones helped with the investigation. One of the drones located a 21-year-old man. Deputies later stopped a vehicle carrying 2 more suspects, a 24 and 25-year-old. There was evidence of the theft found inside the vehicle. Indianapolis Colts kicker Spencer Schrader is done for the season. Head coach Shane Steichen says he tore his ACL and MCL Sunday in their win against the Raiders.
You know, he was lights out for us. Obviously, he was, AFC Special Teams Player of the Month for the NFL. So just tremendous talent. So just in a very unfortunate situation.
It's not clear which direction the team will go in finding their replacement for Schrader. The 4-1 Colts will face the Cardinals this coming Sunday back at Lucas Oil Stadium. And the first preseason game for the Indiana Pacers is tonight. They are in Minneapolis to battle the Timberwolves with tip-off at 8 p.m. Their first regular season game is scheduled for October 23rd against the defending NBA champion Oklahoma City Thunder. I'm Jarrett Lewis on the level, on the go, and at WIBC.com. Kendall and Casey back in 1 minute.
Well, the Fed just sounded the alarm. The stock market is dangerously overvalued, and if your retirement savings are tied up in the market, this could be the smart time to protect and grow your savings outside of Wall Street. Hey, one option gives you a 20% upfront bonus. It's got a competitive return that's averaged 10% annually for the last 10 years.
So here's the simple math. If you invest $200,000, you get an upfront $40,000 bonus. That's $240,000. That $240,000 could earn 10% or $24,000 in the first 12 months. So, in the first year, that original $200,000 could grow to $264,000. Get all the information from Bill Demery, your retirement guy. Call 317-648-5120. That's 317-648-5120. 648-5120. Bill Demery, your retirement guy.
This hour powered by Price Point Comfort Heating and Cooling, your independent American Standard Air dealer.
You're listening to Rob Kendall.
When we talk about sending money somewhere, we're talking about printing the money because we have no money.
And Casey Daniels.
My government would never lie to me, would they?
On 93 WIBC.
So an infamous private equity firm may buy a utility here in central Indiana, and our next guest says the city needs to step in before that happens. It's Kendall Casey Show. I'm Rob Casey's here, joined in studio by our old friend Jacob Stewart, columnist over at Indy Star. New column out today. Indianapolis should buy AES Indiana before BlackRock can. Jacob Stewart joins us now. Jacob, hello.
Thanks for having me on.
Okay, so explain to our audience. So AES is a major utility. We hear complaints about them all the time. They serve basically our electric service to the people of Indianapolis, central Indiana.
Right, correct.
And explain who BlackRock is before we get into what you say are the pitfalls of this.
So they are a multinational investment firm, one of the largest asset managers in the world, and they are a private equity firm. And so private equity, for those unfamiliar, is a type of company that purchases businesses with the intent of flipping them and selling them for profit.
Okay, so BlackRock made it on state radar not too long ago when... What was it? The InPurse, right? Was it InPurse?
Right.
The pension fund for the state said you're out of here?
Yeah, they were banned because of their ESG investments, and that had its root in a 2023 law that banned the pension fund from using asset managers that had those ESG commitments.
All right, so now they are looking at buying AES, and obviously this comes at a time where people are very concerned, and rightfully so, about skyrocketing utility rates. How close is BlackRock to being an owner in AES?
So from my understanding, they've already made an offer on AES Corp, which is the parent company of AES Indiana, valued it at around $18 a share. So it's a multi-billion-dollar purchase, and it's closing as
this is happening.
It's happening. So, they could back out. Something else could happen, but it seems pretty much guaranteed that it's going to happen unless something changes until then.
And BlackRock is in the money-making business. They're not in the better life for you business.
Right.
So the theory you have, and you go through this in this column over at Indy Star that just came out today, is somebody better do something fast, or, to steal a phrase from the former president, Joe Biden, if you think utility rates are bad now, get ready, pal.
Yeah. No, exactly. So we're already worrying about rising utility rates because of data centers and other infrastructure issues. Indiana is not producing enough energy as it is right now to serve their existing customers. Any private equity firm that purchases a utility will most likely be aiming on increasing the infrastructure even more, doubling down on the trying to bring data centers here at any cost, as many as possible, to turn a quick profit at the expense of local residents, and then eventually they'll sell it for a profit.
Jacob Stewart, columnist at Indy Star, is our guest. New column out today. Indianapolis should buy AES Indiana before BlackRock can.
Yeah, Jacob, how can Indianapolis buy AES?
So in 1981, I believe it was, shortly after the state granted 5 or so utilities a monopoly over wide swaths of the state, they gave Indianapolis specifically the right to buy a utility, and that was used one time before, as far as I'm aware, in 2002 to purchase the Indianapolis Water Company for $540 million, and that was eventually sold to Citizens Energy. So it's state law. Exactly how that would look would be a little bit questionable. The city county council would just pass a bill or a ordinance to give the mayor probably the authority to work out the terms of the deal with AES. And then we would see what happens from there. I think ultimately, as it stands, it would be, whether or not AES Corp actually wants to sell. But the city could take away their ban on using eminent domain to take the property of utilities. That was also a 1980 law that they passed. So that would put them on the same footing as they had when they purchased the Indianapolis Water Company, because they had a right to first purchase then.
Okay, so a couple questions. The state passes this law that basically forces BlackRock out of state investing or state investments, being a part of state investing. Can't they do something to say, you guys aren't stepping in? Or why is the state, who clearly has a problem with BlackRock, allowing something like this when they grant the utility to be a monopoly?
Right, and this is by choice. I've spoken to Citizens Action Coalition's executive director, Kerwin Olson, over Twitter. He's spoken about it. There was a recent merger between two utilities, and the Indiana Utility Regulatory Commission essentially said, we don't have any approval jurisdiction over this.
I thought they had approval over everything.
Right, you would think. But they're very limited, apparently, either by their own willingness to do things or just their authority that are given by the state. So the state
limited on everything but raising the rates?
Yeah.
Very unlimited in that.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, sorry.
So the state would have to pass a law giving them approval jurisdiction over it. They'd probably have to specifically spell out, no, private equity cannot buy utilities, because otherwise the IURC probably would not do much about it.
No problem, Rob. You know how good the legislature is about passing bills for the residents.
So this is sort of like almost the way you're making it sound, and you make it sound in this column, a fait accompli that BlackRock is going to own a big portion of AES.
Yeah, more than likely. It would be a hard sell probably to get the Indiana General Assembly to support a bill like that, especially given, IndyStar's reported previously about how much the energy lobbyists have, given to leadership in the General Assembly.
Do you buy this, like Braun is now Ebenezer Scrooge, who has been visited by the ghosts of utility rate hikes past, and now he's woke up Christmas morning shouting, I'll change, I'll change, I'll change. I mean, he just signed this Dr. Frankenstein SMR bill that's going to raise everybody's rates over time. Are you buying this? Oh, it's all no rate hikes all the time now for me.
No, and it's really it's kind of out of his control. Everything he's said to do or has done, quote unquote, so far has been mostly symbolic. To actually change this, change utility policy, it would have to be through the General Assembly, which has for years passed laws that benefit the utility monopolies at the expense of consumers.
Yeah, Ed Soliday got big mad. We think it was at us in that hearing the other day, and it was not very nice. All right, Jacob Stewart with us. A couple of minutes left with him. Column over at the Indy Star now. You can read this. Indianapolis should buy AES Indiana before BlackRock can. Now, people will hear you say this, and they'll say, okay, you worked for the Republicans in the Senate. The Republicans or Republican-minded people are supposed to be no government intervention at any time. Joe Hogsett can't run a lemonade stand to save his life. How does Hogsett and the Democrat-controlled city-county council make this thing better?
Yeah, so there are already 72 municipal electrical utilities in the state, so it's not without precedent.
Electrical utilities?
Yes.
Holy smokes.
So there's 72 of them already. Whatever happens with this particular example, the city would not have to manage it. The city would not even have to own it eventually if they don't want to. Back when the city bought the Indianapolis Water Company, they contracted out the management. That's how it works a lot of the times when it comes to like sewer utilities and other types of utilities that are natural monopolies that the city doesn't have the expertise to run. Or they could just sell it to Citizens Energy like they did the Indianapolis Water Company, and if they were willing to purchase it. And that would be much better than BlackRock or even a for-profit company, because Citizens Energy is a public charitable trust, so it's run like a nonprofit. Josh Bain, who's a Republican city county councilor,
we know Bain.
He'd support it if the end result was a cooperative management, and that means the utility customers would be the owners, essentially. And there's plenty of examples of those too, like rural electric membership cooperatives. So these things could be spelled out in whatever deal the city council makes.
How would it be funded?
Through revenue bonds. That's how a lot of the times, like school improvements are funded.
Oh, yes.
I'm sure.
That's tax increases. Revenue bonds are tax increases.
So they would be sold to locals, and it would be separate from the general fund. It would be separate from the $1.7 billion budget Indianapolis passed. And it would be paid for presumably, hopefully, out of the whatever revenue the local utility makes.
So, in other words, taxpayers would pay for it.
It's either that or they pay it in their next electricity bill.
The column, Indianapolis should buy AES Indiana before BlackRock can. Jacob Stewart, Indy Star, thank you.
Yep, thank you.
You're listening to Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC.
Sun's up, the coffee is brewing, and Tony Katz is your morning information barista.
Tony Katz, good to be with you.
Clarity.
We're not interested in having this debate. We're only interested in honestly addressing the issue.
Context.
We should not present this in any other light. The objective is the destruction of Western civilization.
And a little caffeine.
Only the Constitution should rule.
Tony Katz in the morning news. Weekdays 6 till 9 on 93 WIBC.
At Community Health Network MD Anderson Cancer Center, you'll find a team of experts on your side, all working closely to give you the guidance and support you need.
Everyone knew what every other doctor was doing. I didn't have to go to 3 different meetings. I didn't have to talk to them individually. You knew right there in the room. They came up with a plan together.
Learn more about Community MD Anderson at ecommunity.com/cancer.
Well, since my baby left me.
It's a tribute to the king of rock and roll. On October 17th and 18th, Frankie Marino and family come to the Hilbert Circle Theater to perform some of Elvis's most famous hits with conductor Enrico Lopez Yanez and the Indianapolis Symphony Orchestra.
Well, so lonely, I could die.
Don't wait. Get your tickets today. Tickets on sale now at IndianapolisSymphony.org or the ISO box office downtown.
You've got your whole life ahead of you, so choose a Medicare plan you can count on. And that's what you get with a Medicare Advantage plan from United Healthcare. With more than 45 years' experience serving its members, United Healthcare has plans with low monthly premiums that fit your life today and as your needs change tomorrow. The Medicare annual enrollment period ends December 7th, so go to uhc.com/Medicare today. United Healthcare Medicare plans. It's Medicare coverage Indiana can count on.
You ever wonder why Verizon charges twice as much as Pure Talk for the same basic service? Think it might have something to do with the fact that Verizon spends $12 billion a year on advertising and promotion. That's billion with a B. Yeah, Pure Talk doesn't spend that kind of money on commercials. That's why they can offer unlimited talk, text, and plenty of data on a blazing fast 5G network for just $25 a month. Save an additional 50% off your first month when you dial pound 250 and say the words Micro. That's pound 250, Micro.
Up to 50% off and 2.99% financing, plus receive an additional $550 off your project.
Because at B Windows,
we mean business. We mean business.
Ping pong, rugby ball, wiener dog.
Wiener dog.
Skiing down on the beach.
All right. I got to put some pressure on you here.
Yeah.
You made a big mistake last week.
How so?
You got a bet right for me.
Oh, no.
And now,
yay!
Now we got to ride the lightning for the Degenerates Next Door Sports Betting Podcast.
You never walk away from a heater.
That's right. So Casey said that the Notre Dame Fighting Irish would beat Boise State by more than 20.5 points.
Correct.
They won by 21 points.
Right there.
We were sweating that final Boise State drive, but we did. So now you're obligated to help me
do it again?
Win some more bets for the podcast will drop later today. No pressure. I am in first place between Hammer, the pros, and myself on the college football side of things.
Do I get a share of the profits?
Okay, I will bet $3 on this game. If it hits, you're in for one.
Okay.
All right. Here we go.
I'll take that.
Very good. That's a third of the loot is going to go to you.
Yeah.
All right. Very good. Okay. So, Casey, I gave you the option that Notre Dame is playing North Carolina State this weekend. The current line sees Notre Dame 22.5-point favorites, and the over-under is set at 60.5 points. Now, we ask you for this because you lived much of your life in and around the greater South Bend area.
25 years.
You were in radio in South Bend. You, I believe you were a season ticket holder at one point for Notre Dame football. So I figured if anyone would know Notre Dame football, it'd be you. You proved yourself a worthy advisor last week, so now I'm giving it to you. You can choose the over-under, or you can choose the spread. 22.5 is the spread. Over-under set at 60.5.
All right, so there's a lot of things that you have to take into consideration when you're talking about Notre Dame football. First and foremost, the weather in South Bend.
That's right.
And I have looked at that. It is supposed to be sunny and 72, so it may not be under a blue-gray October sky.
Okay.
Maybe under a blue sky. However, I think that's a pretty heavy lift, 22.5 points.
It's a lot of points.
Yeah, so I'm going to go with the under.
You're going to take the under.
Yeah.
Now, well, wait a second. Now, see, this is why we can't let women do anything.
Why?
Because you had previously told me you wanted to go with under 60.5 total points.
Yeah.
But you just said you're going under 22.5 points.
No, under the 60.5.
Under 60.5.
Yeah.
Okay, so you want to throw the spread out. And you're going with the total points you think between the two teams.
Correct.
There will be less than 61 points scored in this game.
Correct. I still think Notre Dame is going to win. I just don't believe it's going to be a 60.5 point scoring game.
Okay, very good. So we will take under 61 points scored today on the Degenerates Next Door Sports Betting Podcast. Also, if you'd like to help me out with this one, because Hammer, all of us have to pick one game that's the same each week.
Yeah.
Oregon currently finds themselves, our game of the week, a 7.5 point favorite at home against IU. So two top 10 teams. The over-under is 55.5 total points. Oregon is a 7.5 point favorite. That line opened at 10.5 earlier this week. It's now at 7.5.
Okay. Oh, boy, that's a tough one. You know, I hate saying this
I know.
because I don't want to upset people, but I'm going to take Oregon in this game.
So you think Oregon will win by 8 or more points?
Correct.
All right.
I do.
I will make
I
you
do.
the same deal.
It's a long way to travel to go play a game. I think the team might have a little bit of a jet lag. Oregon's got the home field advantage.
Okay.
And Oregon's number 2.
Okay. So,
I know Kurt says that he wins everywhere he goes, but I feel like this may be the game that they do not come out on.
all right, just to review, this is like the show Regis. What was the Regis one? Final answer.
Yeah.
Who wants to
be a millionaire?
You're going with Notre Dame, North Carolina State under 60.5 total points.
Correct.
And you're saying Oregon minus 7.5 versus IU. Okay, very good. Those will be our picks this week.
What are you betting on that one?
I'll bet $3 on both games.
Okay, so I'm
$2.
$2.
You could win $2 whole. So you'll really be
all right.
Watching with great intensity.
And you know what? I'm kind of doing the betting system with the Oregon IU game like you do.
Yeah.
Even if I lose the bet, I win as a Hoosier.
Yeah, you would get a close game if it's less than a touchdown.
Yeah.
Okay, very good. Now, speaking of sports betting, Pew Research, which is a well-known polling entity, they do polling, politics, society, all sorts of things, did a poll on how Americans are viewing sports betting. And in July of 2022, 34% of Americans said that sports betting was a bad thing. 8% said a good thing. 57% had no opinion as either good or bad. However, just 3 years later, now 43% say sports betting is a bad thing. So an increase of 9%
over 3 years.
And now only 7% say a good thing. So the negative view of sports betting in America is increasing.
Yeah. So is it because people feel like they're exploiting Gen Z or they're ruining the game? These college students sitting around watching the game, sports betting on their phone and betting away more than they're paying on tuition?
I think it's a couple things. I'll take a stab at it if that's all right. I think, first of all, you are seeing some level, at least at the pro, well, we've seen some college now as well, of what they used to call point shaving, in which people, for various reasons, were alleged to have been manipulating their performance, and it is tracing back to sports wagering, which should have been a well-done moment when they legalized it across, or allowed states to legalize it across the country. That's going to happen. The other part of it, I think it is that, well, I also think people get worn out by stuff. It was new, it was novel, you do it. Unless you're really into it, then the fun of it kind of wears off. It's sort of like going to Vegas, right? Like, it's fun to do for a couple days, and they're like, oh, let's do my money.
Yeah.
Okay, not so fun, so much fun. And then I think the third part of it is when you see these kids making this amount of money, I'm talking college sports, I think that kind of turns people off. I think they step away from the table, no pun intended, and I think they start to see this more and more centering around sports betting rather than sports itself. I think those three things are major factors in why. I mean, that's a fairly large increase. It's essentially by almost a third, the negative view of sports betting has grown in this country.
And the surprising thing about this poll is that more men are opposing legalized sports betting than women are.
Yeah.
You think that the women would be, hey, that's our money, stop gambling with our money, but it's the men. And the other thing that I noticed, it was college graduates are more opposed to sports betting than non-college graduates. And when you break it up by political party, they're dead even. Republicans and Democrats both at 43% say sports betting's bad.
But you touched on, I think, the most interesting point, which is 45% of men now view sports betting as a bad thing compared to 40% of women. That it was 35-33 in July of 22. This is what I always tell people about sports betting, is if you do it the right way, you can make it fun. You can make it very cheap entertainment, but you got to put a lot of guardrails around yourself. And if you're a person with addictive personality, I think it's easy to lose track of that. Like that Notre Dame game. You knew midway through the fourth quarter, hey, this game's over. Notre Dame is going to win. Previous years, you're changing the channel. But now, because we had that little bet going on,
you're going to stick around for the very last minute.
You could stay up to literally the very last minute of the game because you have something to, keep your interest, you have a rooting interest in games you otherwise wouldn't. You can have a lot of fun with sports betting, but you got to be very, like I said, we laugh, but it's literally true. Most times I bet $3 to $5. If you lose it, you should never bet more than you're mad to,
It's not like you're betting $300.
No, absolutely not. I would never bet, and I'm so cheap that I would never bet any amount of money, but some people really do struggle with that, and those people probably should not be involved if you have an inability to avoid betting more than you're okay with losing.
Do you think that the men are more opposed to the sports betting because they're more close to it? They're directly affected by any negative results?
I'm not. That really does interest me because you would think logic would tell you that it would be women who would be like, I can't believe they're doing that sports betting again. I actually think sports betting has made women more interested in sports because it gives them
a reason to stick around.
Something to cheer. And here's what I tell people. If I bet $5 on a game, I'm not betting because I need to gamble. I'm buying cheap entertainment. Where else for $5 can you get 3 hours of entertainment? A football game is 3 hours. Where else can you get for $5, even if you lose it, worth of entertainment for 3 hours?
Right. Pretty much nowhere.
Especially in the winter on a Tuesday.
Right. Another interesting note from this Pew Research about sports betting, people with an upper income are disliking it more.
Because they're losing?
Because maybe it is because they're making a higher bet.
I will leave
They're
people
spending more
with this,
on
and
it.
Hammer, I'm sure, will back me up when he comes in later. There's a reason the casinos are as big as they are, and there's a reason you live where you live. The house
always wins.
In the end, almost always comes out ahead. So always remember that, please, with every wager you ever make.
You're listening to Kendall and Casey. It's 93 WIBC.
You know exactly why you need to remodel that kitchen of yours. The space, it's outdated. You can't move around like you used to. It doesn't work like it needs to. You want to entertain and you want to improve your quality of life. This can happen, just not with the kitchen you have. You need to call Booher Remodeling. BOOHER. BooherRemodeling.com. They can take that old kitchen that's deteriorating and broken down and turn it into something that works for you and your family. Their 5-step design process from start to finish, the consultation, the preliminary design, design. The design development, getting all the documents together and then getting it done. The best materials, the most skilled craftsmen in Central Indiana. Boer Remodeling will guide you through the entire process, starting with the free initial consultation, and they stand behind their work with a 2-year workmanship guarantee. Create that new kitchen. Design experts can use an existing layout or begin completely from scratch. Talk to Boer Remodeling today. BOOHER. BoerRemodeling.com. That's BoerRemodeling.com.
You probably have a dream retirement in mind, but do you know how to get there? The difference between dreaming and living your ideal retirement comes down to having the right plan. And that's where Howard Bailey Financial can help. At Howard Bailey Financial, we've created a free retirement toolkit to help you bridge the gap between where you are now and where you want to be. Text DREAM to 888-262-1104 to download your free retirement toolkit that includes a retirement checklist, Social Security decisions guide, estate planning guide, and more. We want your dream retirement to be your reality. And it starts by texting DREAM to 888-262-1104. Let us help you take the next step toward the retirement of your dreams. Howard Bailey Securities, LLC is an independent financial services firm and uses a variety of different investment strategies. Please see disclosures at howardbailey.com.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
She's on Capitol Hill today. It's cloudy and 69 in downtown Indy. We'll get up to 75 today for a high. I'm Jarrett Lewis. Here's what's trending at 10:31. Brought to you by Gutter Helmet. Attorney General Pam Bondi participating in an oversight hearing with the Senate Judiciary Committee this morning. The AG testifying they are continuing to end the so-called weaponization of federal agencies against President Trump and Republicans, and insists former FBI agents were secretly investigating certain GOP officials.
They were playing politics with law enforcement powers and will go down as a historic betrayal of public trust. This is the kind of conduct that shatters the American people's faith in our law enforcement system.
Bondi has already moved to fire dozens of employees involved with criminal investigations of President Trump, including the criminal probes for withholding classified government documents and attempting to overturn the results of the 2020 presidential election. Federal authorities charging an alleged gang member in a murder-for-hire plot targeting a top border official. This comes as crowds continue to protest against an ICE facility in nearby Broadview.
The bounty put on the head of Border Patrol Commander Gregory Bovino. Federal prosecutors say one individual, Juan Espinoza Martinez, solicited the murder of Bovino. They describe Martinez as a ranking member of the Latin King street gang. The evidence presented was a Snapchat messaging offering $2,000 for information on Bovino, $10,000 to, quote, take him down, with a notation LK standing for Latin Kings on him.
Fox's Mike Tobin in Chicago. Hundreds of National Guard troops could soon hit the streets there. Sean Diddy Combs is asking President Trump for a pardon. Diddy's team reportedly reached out to the White House after he was sentenced to 50 months in prison for charges relating to transportation for prostitution. And during an appearance on The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon, Taylor Swift said she only received some questions from Rock Nation and never got a formal offer to do the Super Bowl halftime show for this season. I'm Jarrett Lewis on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
The most extraordinary thing a woman can do is let herself be human. We try to do it all, sure, but what if we're just not feeling it? Like when the fatigue hits, but you gotta bring snacks to the soccer game? Or when the laundry's piling up, but that hot flash says, too bad. We get it. Franciscan Health has care for extraordinary women who can do it all, but don't have to. Visit franciscanhealth.org/OBGYN today.
Siri, read me that text.
Sorry, I can't complete your request.
You want me to read that?
No, I got it.
Construction zone.
I see it.
Watch it. Oh my God. You're gonna hit him!
Oh, fuck!
When driving in a construction zone, be smart, be alert, be in the zone.
This is Brian Short, business manager for the Indiana Laborers District Council. Everyone deserves a safe place to work.
Do your part in the cone zone. Slow down, save lives. We're all in this together.
A message from Indiana's District Council of Laborers International Union of North America and affiliated locals.
At Price Point Comfort, we promise you'll never be sold something you don't need. Call us at 317-455-1124 or see us at pricepointcomfort.com.
Price Point Comfort is your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air dealer.
Dirty Diego, oh, Dirty Diego, oh, Dirty Diego, oh, Dirty Diego, oh.
Do you think he knows he has the theme song?
Oh, I'm sure he's very aware. Just a reminder, Casey, that according to documents, you can make a song about what a dirty, rotten individual, a little parody song, and what a dirty, rotten individual a statewide Republican office holder is. And you're still a Republican in good standing. If you hear the song and say, you know what, that person's right, we should probably support someone else, you're out.
Oh, okay.
Just a reminder, that's the rules.
Right.
As laid out to us in the Republican Party bylaws. The theme song of one dirty Diego Morales, the dirty, rotten, corrupt, unethical Indiana Secretary of State. And boy, he's big mad, Case, because he's got a little legit competition this time around.
So Bo Bai, the son of former Indiana Governor and U.S. Senator Evan Bai, officially announced that he was running for Indiana Secretary of State. And Diego Morales, the current Secretary of State, put out a message about it. He had something to say about that.
And what did he say, Case?
He said,
did he say, I paid for India? I paid for India.
No, he
Surprised
said
he didn't put that in all caps at the top of the press release.
He said Indiana doesn't need another East Coast liberal.
Oh.
Bo Bai is back in Indiana. I know it's a long way from the East Coast for him. I'm willing to help him navigate all 92 counties. He may need it.
Well, a couple things on that. One, the East Coast of the United States, where Bo Bai did serve in the U.S. military. So sorry for partying on that. I'd love to compare Diego's military record and Bo Bai's, and I bet we'll get a chance to do that as this campaign gets closer, because there's a lot of questions about Diego's military record, and I'm sure Bo Bai would love to have that conversation. I will say this, the East Coast of the U.S. for military service, definitely closer than India. So if we want to have a conversation about who went where and who spent what time in the United States and out, I'm sure Bo Bai happy to have that conversation too. Also, if Diego wants to have a conversation about how much he spent of taxpayer money, quote unquote, touring all 92 counties and his $90,000 automobile that he did that in, I'm sure Bo Bai also happy to have that conversation. What's fascinating to me, Casey, about this is, look, all the stuff about Bo Bai residency, voting history, where he's lived, all fair game. You know me, politics, blood sport, you're going to run for public office, you're going to run for one of the highest offices in your state, all fair game. There ain't no crying in baseball, and there ain't no crying in politics. But what I have found fascinating is people who have for 3 years overlooked brazen, blatant, at best highly unethical behavior, at worst completely corrupt, repeated behavior from the Indiana Secretary of State, and haven't said a word. Now they're up in arms over whether when Bo Bai moved furniture into his house, the hiring of the brother-in-law, the no-bid contracts to mega donors to his campaign, the disappearance to a foreign country, the refusal to say who paid for it. Oh, and Diego getting lippy about anybody's voting history.
Right, he's the guy who voted in a different county than his homestead exemption.
Yeah, all of these things, no bother to these very bold, brave keyboard warriors on social media over the years of behavior from Diego Morales, not a word. But when Bo Bai gets furniture moved into his house, well, that's what they're up in arms about.
Do you think that was a weird place to have an interview? We're talking about the interview that Bo Bai did with James Briggs from Indy Star, where they were in a condo in Indianapolis that was unfurnished. Bo commented that he was waiting for the furniture to arrive and it would be put together soon.
Well, look, we talked about this. This election is going to be fascinating for me, I'm sure for many people. One, because they've already started the Rob and Bo Bai are friends, and Rob's going to support Bo Bai, and it's already started, right? Because that's how Republicans operate
I can't say that. That's how Republicans operate when you call out their bull crap. When you look at somebody, well, they ban you from their events, and then they start in on, well, Rob and Bo By are buddies. You watch, Rob's going to be. Look, I would be for an aged potato skin over Diego Morales. I hope David Shelton grows a pair and is capable of defeating Diego Morales at the Republican convention, because Diego is a dirty, rotten scumbag of an individual, and I want him nowhere near any office, much less one as important as the Indiana Secretary of State. I will take just about anybody as long as they don't have a photo up in the post office over Diego Morales. So I hope it's David Shelton. But in lieu of that not happening, I will take anybody who will open up the vault, and we'll get the public will get a bird's eye view of just how corrupt Diego and his administration and the Republican Party as a whole has been over the last several years, and putting someone of another party in there probably would be the best opportunity to do that.
All right, we'll get to Dave Shelton in just a second. More from Diego Morales, Secretary of State. He said this won't be the first time the Democrats and their allies in the media will spend millions to beat me. They did it in 22 and it wasn't close. The only difference this time is he will be handed his money on a silver platter. Okay, so this is Diego Morales saying that it's a dynasty with the Bys and that Bo By has the silver spoon.
So Diego, who has, look, office for sale is such a strong set of words to use, so we won't use that. But Diego, who has given out no-bid contracts of our money, of taxpayer money, who has friends, Raju, who have mysterious $80,000 contracts with his office, and we don't really know what they do. We do know that he went to India with Diego and was bragging about selling visa access while he was in India with Diego. All of that's fine. That behavior is okay, but Bo By, who would use not public money to run his campaign, where that money came from, that's the big deal that everybody should be paying attention to. Not the no-bid contracts, the campaign donations that show up in his account, not his friend who has this mysterious $80,000 contract and you don't know what he does. All of that is fine to the Republicans, but because some kid got money that was in his potentially got money that was in his dad's campaign account, well, that's what the people need to be paying attention to.
Diego Morales went on. He said Indiana Republicans need to unite to ensure Democrats do not get a foothold in Indiana. I have over $1 million cash on hand.
Where'd it come from, Diego?
But it will take more. Please consider donating to
Little
defeat
Sisters
this East
of the
Coast
Poor.
liberal.
Who gave Diego that money? Who are those people? Look at who they are and look at the contracts
There it is.
or business that many of them have with the state of Indiana. See, this is what the Republicans do. And Diego is the tip of the spear. What they do is say, don't pay attention to what I've done. Don't pay attention to the crap I've pulled. Look at this stuff over here that doesn't affect you at all. And we'll make that person out to be the victim or the villain. We'll make them out to be the bad guy. Don't look at what I've done. They're the bad guy because of their name.
Okay, so we'll get to Dave Shelton's comment in just a minute. But here is Bo By. He talked with Ben Verbanek.
Friend of the show.
From WTHI. Bo By said his top priority is to keep elections safe. He also ripped on Diego and wants to do an audit of the Secretary of State's office.
My top priority, if I'm successful in running for this office, to keep our elections secure. No illegal votes, period. But at the same time, I am deeply concerned that our state ranks 50th at the bottom of the United States in voter participation. The person currently in charge of that office has spent $90,000 of taxpayer money on a luxury SUV so he can drive around our state and act like a king. He has hired his brother-in-law and pays him a six-figure salary. He has taken trips all over the world, still doesn't tell us who's paying for them. First day in office, let's do an audit of the Secretary of State's office. I welcome input from the governor, from the attorney general. Let's open the books on this thing.
No argument on any, and that's what they're afraid of. That's what the Republicans are worried about, is that if Bo By gets in there, he will have access to all that information, and he will be able to show you, the public, not just how corrupt Diego Morales and his administration have been, how unethical Diego Morales and his administration have been. He'll be able to show you not only all of that, but who knows who's connected into what. That's what they're really worried about. That's why these Republicans are coming out in support of Diego, because they know if that office gets its doors opened up, it's bad news for all of them. It'd be great news for us. The office itself doesn't matter. It's an administrative position. For all these people who are, Bo by this or the Democrats that, there's nothing any of these administrative offices, whether it's the state treasurer, the Secretary of State, the comptroller, any of them, there's nothing they can do without the express written consent of the Indiana General Assembly with the signature from the governor. Now, Diego doesn't treat it like an administrative position, and because of all the money that touches him, that touches so many other Republicans, they let him get away with it. But wouldn't it be fun to see the Republicans act? Let's just say Bo Bai was some radical left extremist. He's not, but let's say he was. Wouldn't it be fun for once to actually see the Republicans have somebody to fight with? Have somebody to go toe-to-toe with? Have to behave like Republicans for once? That's like a worst-case scenario. What would be the harm in that? What do you think? Bo Bai can't do anything without the General Assembly. There is no downfall other than a downfall to the Republicans, which is getting exposed.
Well, many people consider the Secretary of State's office a stepping stone to either Attorney General or Governor. I think it would be fascinating to look at historicals to see how much was spent on past elections for Secretary of State's office, because I believe this one may be one of the most expensive ever.
And remember, we did the math yesterday. 125,000 votes changed. That's all that has to happen for, in this case, Bo Bai to defeat Diego Morales. And I think you're also going to see a lot of people who voted for the Libertarianists, the protest vote against Diego in 2022, who will probably vote for Bo Bai in protest. So you're probably looking realistically at about 100,000 votes that have to be switched, which in a state of 7 million people is very small. And I'm here for all of this, Casey, and I can't wait.
So Dave Shelton responded. He is also running for Secretary of State. He is a Republican. He said it shouldn't be a surprise. Bo filed a new Indiana voter registration after being moved to inactive twice, once in 2019 and again in 21, with multiple postcards to his Marion and Monroe County addresses returned as undeliverable. He went on to say Indiana deserves a Secretary of State who actually lives here, runs elections hands-on, and solves problems. And that is one thing that Dave Shelton should hang his hat on, because he has run elections hands-on.
Yeah, the problem with Shelton is he won't do any of this to Diego. He's not going to get through the convention to have an election against Bo Bai, because he's had almost a year, to pull this tough guy routine that he just pulled with Bo Bai on Diego, and he won't do it. He's clearly petrified of Diego. And so, David, you're not getting through convention to have an election against Bo Bai, because that's how you should be treating Diego. He's the guy in charge. He's the guy currently screwing it up. He's the guy currently making the choices, and he won't do it because he's afraid, and because he's afraid, he's not going to win at convention. So get ready for Bo Bai and Diego Morales, and I'm here for all of it, Casey.
Hammer's going to join us next. It's 93 WIBC.
Coming up on Tony Katz today, will Hamas and Israel come to a deal on returning hostages? And does Netanyahu have his numbers right? That's after the news at noon on 93 WIBC.
At Duke Energy, we're making Indiana's energy grid stronger and more resilient, ready for storms and for our region's growing energy demands. We're upgrading nearly 20,000 poles, adding more power to the Indiana grid, and using new innovations to assess damage more quickly, speeding our response to storms. We're also modernizing the energy grid with self-healing technology to automatically reroute power around damage to help restore outages faster, sometimes in less than a minute. And we're using smart technology to give you more insight on the energy you use at home to help you save. Daily usage charts on our website or mobile app. Usage alerts and home energy reports to keep you in the know. And we're committed to doing everything we do in cost-efficient ways, so we can keep bills as low as possible while we serve you with reliable energy when you need us most. Duke Energy, building a smarter energy future. Paid for by Duke Energy shareholders.
Don Fisher for QC Kinetics. I was struggling with chronic knee pain and wasn't encouraged with the options of risky surgery and pain pills. QC Kinetics offered the best option for me, cutting-edge regenerative medicine. Their non-invasive treatment stimulated my body's own biologics so I could be pain-free and get back to doing what I love, playing golf. QC Kinetics has a fantastic success rate, and it's clear to see why so many Hoosiers are happy to tell their story of how they reclaim their lives with the QC Kinetics approach. Ready to live your life pain-free? Go to qckinetics.com/Indianapolis or call 317-559-PAIN and get a no-obligation consultation. QC Kinetics uses the latest technologies, whether it's stem cell, PRP, plasma, or a number of other advanced therapies. Call QC Kinetics. It'll be the best call you will make. Get back in the game, whatever that is for you. Call 317-559-PAIN.
Hey guys, it's Rob for Life Church, and Life Church would love the opportunity to meet and welcome you and your family. And Life Church wants you to know that at Life Church, the whole family matters, which is why they say, parents, you can do this, and we will help. Life Church has a long history of amazing kids and youth ministries and make them a priority. At Life Church, they believe God's word is for all ages and that, yes, kids too can have a relationship with Jesus. Life Church, for the whole family. Learn more about them on the web, lifechurchin.com.
Our electric bills have increased as much as $50 each month. Governor Mike Braun is driving bills even higher. Instead of helping families, Governor Braun is doubling down on costly coal, gas, and nuclear. That means more pricey power plants that Hoosiers like us have to pay for. Utilities get richer, we pay more. Something has to give. Go to StopMikesHikes.com today to send Governor Braun a message. Hoosiers need affordable energy, not a blank check for greedy utilities. Paid for by Citizens Action Coalition.
Of all the times to buy a new Lincoln, right now is the very best time at Tom Roush Lincoln. Get 0% APR for up to 48 months on 2025 Lincoln Corsair, Nautilus, or Aviator. Plus get a $1,000 Tom Roush Trade Assist bonus. So come get that new Lincoln from Tom Roush Lincoln, where our family's been serving yours for over 53 years. Subject to credit approval. Not all buyers will qualify. See dealer for complete offer details. Offer ends 10/31/2025.
My house has a new glow. I love my windows. Universal Windows Direct.
Hey, it's Rob. Right now, buy 2 windows and get 2 free. And no interest for 3 whole years. Restrictions apply. Call 317-659-7574. Like me, you'll be saying, I love my windows.
I love my windows. They've got that brand new home effect. Universal Windows Direct.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
At Community Health Network MD Anderson Cancer Center, we're here to support you every way we can. From answering your questions to helping coordinate appointments.
The whole team has been phenomenal there. They've made me feel like I'm a family member. I get hugs every time I go in. It's been such a blessing that the great care I've received has been so close to home.
Learn more about Community MD Anderson at eCommunity.com/cancer.
Need to sell your home without the hassle? Sell your home to people you can trust. Call Simple Quarters, 317-900-HOME. Simple Quarters, sponsor of Fill Up in the News with Tony Katz.
More tariffs later, tornadoes possible on Eric.
WIBC.com gives you more than just headlines. It's context, updates, and insight. Whether you're at work, on the move, or catching up late, the latest is already there. Stay in the know while you're on the go at WIBC.com.
Okay, before we get to the sports betting thing, Jason Hammer from the Hammer and Nigel Show is here. We had Ryan Hedrick on earlier in the show today talking about sort of the play-by-play that he has been able to put together on in-person interviews, man-on-the-street stuff with this Mark Sanchez thing. This is fascinating to me about how this all could have unfolded.
Right. And that's what was frustrating about that press conference they did yesterday. Now, they did not take a lot of questions, but they allowed a couple people to shout out a few questions before the thing wrapped up. And I think the most intriguing question, at least in my opinion, is why was Mark Sanchez in the alley? Was he going back to his hotel? Was he going back there to look for a hooker, to get drugs? Was he just stumbling around because he was incoherent? Why was he in the alley?
Was he lost?
And instead of yelling that question out, You've got Russ McQuaid of Fox 59 wanting to make it about constitutional carry in a situation where nobody was shot.
Yeah, and how did he get to that state to where he felt he had to engage in a conflict with this guy? I mean, is he just going on the road every week getting blitzed out of his mind? I mean, is that a regular occurrence? Like, was there something said to him? You know, who? Like, there's so many unanswered questions still.
And I think we're going to start getting more and more as stuff starts to leak out. Because there are people that know that work inside, whether it's IMPD or the prosecutor's office. The more this story plays out, the days go by, somebody's going to start leaking that out. Or the video is going to become available. I know Ryan's working on trying to get some video.
And depending on whose side it's sympathetic to, look, the defense hasn't said anything yet. There's been nothing offered from them. That's usually not great for you, but you haven't heard anything from them at all.
And you know who's receiving some shrapnel from this is Mark Sanchez's wife. She just launched a new series. She's in that Chad Power series that's on Hulu.
Oh, yeah.
And the Glenn Powell thing where they basically took that bit Eli Manning did and made a series out of it.
Yeah.
She is like got a major role in that. So here she is. All right, got a streaming show. It's got a major Hollywood star in it. It's backed by the Manning brothers. We're going to get so much publicity. And she was in the spotlight maybe for 24 hours before her idiot husband ruined it for her.
Yeah, and you see that video of him walking with that wound on his chest. It's a bad look. Hey, you are the sports betting guy. You heard Casey. I let Casey do the picks for me this week.
She's rolling.
Yeah.
You can't walk away.
Don't walk away from a heater.
So Casey decided Notre Dame under 60.5, and Oregon laying the 7.5 against IU. And we spun that into this new poll out by Pew Research about how people are turning on sports betting.
And what was interesting is that it was predominantly men that were doing it. And let me tell you, this is why. Because men are losing.
Yeah.
They think, I played high school ball. I played in college. I know ball. I watched it all the time. But you might not know gambling, right? So let's say you picked Oregon to win and cover this weekend. What if Oregon only wins by 6?
Yeah.
Yeah, you picked the winner, right? But that's not how you win the bet. They would have had to have won by 7 or 8 or more.
And look at the end of that pro game, the NFL game last night. Falls down, gets back. I warned your husband not to get in on that with us. I hate all these lines.
Those late night games, though.
Well, but I mean,
it was a hell of a lot more entertaining than what the Cubs were giving me last night.
But that's the point. It's like, what if that play goes differently? Do you know any more or less about sports based on one got a crazy play?
Well, in our group text we have with Nige, look at the Colts same game parlay we did. So last couple weeks, just as Colts fans, we do a same gamer. I'm not a parlay guy, but just to be a fan and have fun watching your team. We'd won the previous 2 weeks. I put together same gamer, bada bing, bada boom. We were playing with house money. We should have won again this weekend, but the Colts kicker gets injured.
Yep.
So they have to go for 2. They don't get it a bunch of times. We missed the total by 1 point.
What are we doing this afternoon? What's going on?
We're going to drop that new Degenerates Next Door podcast.
No pressure, Casey. No pressure.
My picks are in.
We've got Notre Dame picks. We've got Indiana picks. Purdue picks.
Yeah.
We're going to run the table,
They
baby.
still playing football?
And then the Hammer and Nigel show back at it with some caller roulette this afternoon.
Thank you, Hammer. You're listening to Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC.
As an IT professional, you have the opportunity to guarantee your data security, participate in 100% landfill-free disposal, and have peace of mind with R2 V3 certifications. Technology Recyclers provides guaranteed complete data destruction, 100% landfill-free disposal, and the certification to back it up. Protect your data while saving the planet. Receive a free pickup of your e-waste from Technology Recyclers. Visit tech-recyclers.com. That's tech-recyclers.com.
Your home is your sanctuary. Get the peace of mind you deserve with a free estimate on a Generac automatic standby generator for your home from Generator Supercenter, the nation's #1 Generac generator dealer. With expert installation and 24-hour monitoring, Generator Supercenter won't leave you in the dark. Financing is available. Take control of your power today with Generator Supercenter. Call 317-827-0808. Generator Supercenter of Indianapolis, 317-827-0808.
Let's go! You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You've still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age. making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
I was seriously injured. It was definitely somebody's fault, and I didn't actually know who, so I needed to call someone. I was really happy to have a law firm like Hensley that had ethics. I made the best call.
It happens. Hire Hensley.
Up to 50% off and 2.99% financing, plus receive an additional $550 off your project.
Because at B Windows,
we mean business. We mean business.
In 2 minutes from the Technology Recycler Studios, what the man who police say stabbed Mark Sanchez is saying as reasoning for his lawsuit. Who police identified in a missing person case from the late 1990s, how a construction worker died in Howard County on Monday, and who the Pacers open preseason play with for tonight. You're listening to 93 WIBC, WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. It's 11 o'clock.
A heated hearing at the Senate. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
Chicago is not the enemy. Our fellow Americans are not the enemy.
I wish you loved Chicago as much as you hate President Trump. And currently, the National Guard are on the way to Chicago.
That was Democratic Senator Dick Durbin and Attorney General Pam Bondi getting into it about the use of the National Guard to fight crime and protests against immigration raids.
These deployments basically target Democratic-run cities and Democratic leaders.
You voted to shut down the government, and you're sitting here. Our law enforcement officers aren't being paid. They're out there working to protect you.
And Bondi told the Senate hearing they are ending the weaponization of the FBI. But Senator Durbin told the Attorney General it's President Trump weaponizing government now, targeting his opponents.
What has taken place since January 20th, 2025 would make even President Nixon recoil.
But Republican Senator Lindsey Graham then asked, what about what happened to him during the Biden administration?
Can you tell me why my phone records, when I'm the chairman of the Judiciary Committee, were sought by the Jack Smith agents?
The FBI now says 8 GOP senators and a House member's phone calls were tracked in Special Counsel Smith's investigation into the 2021 January Capitol riot. It's October 7th, and Israelis are mourning and hoping that the war the terror attack triggered in Gaza may soon end.
This time 2 years ago, we were in southern Israel along the Gaza border as thousands of terrorists infiltrated into the country. On that terrible day, nearly 1,200 people were killed and 240 taken hostage. We know that 48 of them still remain in Hamas captivity. American-led peace talks started yesterday in Egypt, aimed at reaching an agreement by the end of the week. If the deal progresses, all of the remaining captives would be exchanged for 250 Palestinian prisoners serving life sentences.
That's Fox's Trey Yingst in Tel Aviv, Israel. America's listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Injured, charged, and now sued. Cloudy and 70 in Indianapolis. Rain in some spots. The high today is 75. I'm Jarrett Lewis. This report is brought to you by Moss Roofing at 11:02. A man who police say was attacked by former NFL quarterback Mark Sanchez is now suing him and Fox Corporation. The man was in his car and working at a hotel loading dock Saturday in Indianapolis downtown when the incident occurred. The lawsuit accuses Fox of failing to ensure Sanchez acted reasonably. Sanchez was charged with felony battery on Monday for the attack that gave the man serious injuries to his head, jaw, and neck. He and his family are asking for significant compensation. After more than 2 decades, a multi-agency effort has led the Indiana State Police to identify the remains of a missing woman.
We were able to identify Deanna Smith of Indianapolis, who had been reported missing in 1999. Again, her remains were found in 2003 in Owen County.
Sergeant Kevin Getz with the Indiana State Police. This remains an active homicide investigation. A Logansport man is killed while directing traffic just east of Kokomo Monday afternoon. The man was working in a construction zone when he was struck by a school bus that was hit by a pickup truck first. According to Indiana State Police, the bus was working its way across State Road 22 when the Dodge truck was heading eastbound on the road and crashed into the bus. The collision moved the bus into 31-year-old Aaron Esparza and killed him. The bus driver from the Northwestern School Corporation had minor injuries. She also had 8 children on board who were not injured. The proposed budget for next year is passing in the Indianapolis City County Council, much to the delight of Councilor Nick Roberts.
There are a lot of things in there that I think are good parts to the budget. Of course, there wasn't everything that we wanted,
Senate Bill 1 of the State House really limited our revenue as a city and of every city in the state.
It's for $1.7 billion. Some Republican counselors weren't happy last night, saying Democrats tried to silence their voices when they wanted to ask questions about what was in the budget. Tonight is the beginning of the NBA preseason for the Indiana Pacers. They're in Minneapolis to take on the Timberwolves. Head coach Rick Carlisle says the team is upbeat heading into tonight's game, especially coming off a good crowd at Fan Jam.
But I will say the fans were great. The environment was as good as we've ever had in Fan Jam. Really appreciate the fans, showing up and having the kind of energy they did.
Indiana took the Oklahoma City Thunder to 7 games in the NBA Finals last season. That's who they open up the regular season with on October 23rd. I'm Jarrett Lewis on The Level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Without an Advent clinic nearby, people suffering needlessly from chronic nasal congestion and sinus infections would be stuck with either Band-Aid or Sledgehammer solutions. Band-Aids are pills or nasal sprays, and they're not true solutions. Surgery is a sledgehammer, and that's what we're trying to avoid. Because most people don't need surgery for nose and sinus issues, nor do they want a 14-day recovery. Our unique Advent approach can, in 20 minutes in our office, open your blocked nose for good, with only 1-day recovery. I'm Advent founder Dr. Kandula. Outside of Advent's 4 walls, invasive surgery is what they'll recommend. But here you will find effective and convenient in-office solutions to help you stop the need for Band-Aids and avoid the sledgehammer.
Go to adventknows.com to schedule your appointment, because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better. Most insurance accepted.
This hour powered by Price Point Comfort Heating and Cooling, your independent American Standard Air dealer.
You're listening to Rob Kendall.
When we talk about sending money somewhere, we're talking about printing the money because we have no money.
And Casey Daniels.
My government would never lie to me, would they?
On 93 WIBC.
Hey, great news, Casey.
Oh, yeah?
I know you're going to be so pumped up about this.
Okay.
Are you holding on to your chair with both hands?
I am now.
Ted Cruz is pondering another run for president.
That's great news, is it? Am I supposed to be excited about this? Didn't he do that back in 2016?
2016. Well, that was his year, right?
Yeah.
We were
supposed to be his year. He was robbed.
Well, we were talking about this during the break. It's fascinating how short the window actually really is for these politicians. Like, if you're, and obviously we think it's super bizarre, but there are people who their whole life evolves around being in politics and elevating themselves in politics. And for so many of these people, and look, in a country of 330 plus million people, there's a monumental amount of narcissism involved to believe you can run it better than anybody else, right? And I mean, both parties, to think of all these people, I could do this better than anybody else. But one of the things about these politicians, especially these people who elevate to the tippy top, is there's a real finite window for you to strike, and it takes a lot of luck, a lot of the planets aligning, God's will, God's favor, for it all to work together. Because we were talking about Evan Bayh is a great example. Evan Bayh was on this trajectory, especially after he became a United States Senator. Hey, this guy's got president written all over him. He's at the very least got vice president. I mean, he is like straight out of central casting for a vice president. He comes from a red state. He's non-offensive, good-looking guy. And every time from like 2000 through really kind of Hillary, his name always surfaced as one of the finalists, one of the people under consideration, and he never even got the call to run as vice president. And by political standards, he kind of did everything right. And so it shows you Ted Cruz, 2016 was supposed to be his thing. He was the firebrand on the right. The right's done with the nominating moderates. We'd lost to Romney, McCain. We're done with it. No more Bushes. Hey, Ted Cruz is articulate. He's got all the bona fides. And then Trump just shows up and obliterates the guy. And now nobody even talks about Ted Cruz anymore.
It's interesting you said 2016 because that's the same time that the great state of Indiana showed Evan by the door.
Well, and it is.
When Todd Young beat him for Senate.
Well, you think about that 2016 before. I mean, Trump had been involved, But outside of me, and this is kind of one of the reasons I got on the radar of this place, was I got the interview with Trump, but I was also one of the few people in the media who was saying from the beginning, he's going to win. Everybody was laughing at him, a joke. I knew the moment he came off that escalator and that speech he gave, I said, it's going to be the Republican nominee for president. And I thought he would win the presidency. I remember doing an event after the first debate with the Indy Star. They had several, they were mostly like establishment politicos, and they were like, well, let's just piss these people off as much as we can. Let's invite Rob. And everybody watches the debate, and then they're live streaming and commentary. And after the debate between Trump and Hillary, they go to everybody about, what do you think? And all these Republican establishment people they're laughing and, oh, it was horrible for Trump. It's all Hillary. It's all over. He couldn't have done any worse. And they get to me, and I was the one person in the room who said, Trump won. And people just start laughing at me. And I said, you guys are thinking about this all the wrong way. Donald Trump is talking to a very specific group of people. He's not talking to the nation. He's talking to people in Pittsburgh, and he's talking to people outside of Detroit and Milwaukee. And I said, you watch. And it was what happened. And my point in all of this is, you think about the Republicans who started that campaign in 2015. You had legit traditional Republican rock stars, Rubio and Cruz and Rand Paul, and you're like, what a dream team of people we have to choose from. Trump swoops in, just destroys all of them. And so now there is this real question, especially if Trump doesn't get it together in terms of approval rating and how he's viewed going out the door. Who is the next torchbearer of the Republican Party? Because if Trump's not popular, it doesn't bode well for Vance or Rubio.
For J.D. Vance, right. A lot of people are saying, well, obviously it's going to be J.D. Vance. It may not be the case. So Cruz is reportedly working to differentiate himself as a candidate, kind of like in a post-Trump era, right? He's trying to position himself just a little bit differently. He opposed the suspension of Jimmy Kimmel's show, and he faced some backlash because of that. But is that all part of his game plan? He still wants to be a leader of the GOP, just not. It's like he's trying to thread that needle, like I'm going to be faithful and honest with Trump, but at the same time, I'm a different guy. He's trying to say that he's this intellectual leader.
Yeah, so like the Telegraph has an article out about this today, and him laying the groundwork running for president. The problem again, yes, thank you. The problem for a Ted Cruz, or really for any politician, especially in the modern Twitter 24/7 media world we live in, it's very hard to reinvent yourself because the internet and the memories are forever, which is why when so many of these politicians can't do it or come off ridiculous and they don't succeed, because you never really do know the real them because they're shapeshifters. They always try to fit into whatever box is most politically expedient in the moment. And for a Ted Cruz, after years of being one thing, which I would hope he was that because that's what he was, it's going to be hard for you to reinvent yourself or go, no, look at this version of me, rather than the 20-plus year political history people have to look at.
Well, you're talking about the shape-shifting. I mean, you remember when Trump labeled him as Lion Ted.
Lion Ted puts the Bible up high, tells the truth, puts the Bible down, he lies, call him Lion Ted. That crowd in Indianapolis erupted. He did that at the fairgrounds, and the people went crazy.
Of course, Cruz called Trump a sniveling coward, right? But now Cruz has been a defender of Trump.
His dad might have killed Kennedy. Don't know. Didn't say it happened. I'm saying it could have happened. Don't know.
So he's really trying to balance this loyalty with Trump, but also appealing to more of a traditional conservative. He's trying to thread that needle so much. And there's a group of people now that are, I voted for Trump 3 times, but now they're saying, they're burning the red hat. They're giving up on MAGA, although they're still conservatives. So is that who Cruz is trying to talk to?
Well, I think you got to wait to see what the midterm election and the direction of the country looks like, because a strong Trump makes it much harder. The problem for all these people is they've given into Trump so often. They can't run as outsiders, even if they're not in the Trump orbit. So many of these people, Cruz included, have become basically subservient to Trump and just carried his talking points, even though they don't agree with a bunch of them, that if Trump is unpopular, it's going to be very hard to get out of it and go, not me, and present yourself as some sort of outsider. When you really saw the true colors of a Ted Cruz, and there are certain moments for me in the Rob Kendall origin story.
Mm-hmm.
How did you become the way that you are?
Why are you like that?
Different things. It's a collection of things, but there are certain things that really stood out to me that just like hit me between the eyes on how phony these politicians are. When Ted Cruz gave his speech at the Republican National Convention in 2016, everybody knew he hated Trump. I mean, he alluded that his dad killed Kennedy, for crying out loud, right? Nobody would blame you. But he gets up there, and then it comes time to make the sell one way or another. And he settles on vote your conscience. And it was like, you are just like the rest of these people. You don't have the ballular area to say what you think, and everybody knows what you think because you're worried about being judged and how it's going to affect your political career. So Mr. Johnny Tough Guy really is no different than everybody else. Vote my conscience? What is that? What sort of leadership is that?
Well, that's him trying to thread the needle.
Exactly.
Right?
That's
he still
my
wants to
point.
be in good standing, and if there's a cabinet position,
Sure.
possibly still get that.
That's why I find it, like, to bring this thing full circle, because all the commentary in the Secretary of State's race, Bobai, the family, the legacy, wannabe career politician. Diego ran for Congress and lost. He desperately wanted to be in Congress. Actually wanted to be Secretary of State first. Then he found out Connie Lawson wasn't quitting like he thought she was going to, and he was going to get his ass kicked. So he technically explored running for and ran for one of them, two things, and then ran for Secretary of State. He is the wannabe career politician. He worked in politics much of his adult life in this country. He is that, and yet that's fine. My point in all this is the Bo Bai stuff is all fair criticism, but how willfully and naively we ignore whatever side we're on when our side is doing the exact same thing. And this is why we're just a country run by career politicians who do or say whatever's politically expedient in the moment because that's what we have told them we will accept.
How many times is too much running for president? Because you've got, Ted Cruz obviously did it, and Marco Rubio did it as well. But it's interesting because the heir apparent seems to be J.D. Vance. But when you're inside the Beltway, you hear more rumblings about it being Marco Rubio, actually, who is more impressive to people.
Yeah, okay, so, let's think out loud here.
But, he ran already.
Well,
so did Ted Cruz.
Yeah, but I'm trying to think this through in the, post-World War II era. You had Nixon who ran and he actually won the presidency in 1960, but was not declared the president. So Nixon did it, made the comeback. Let's see. Reagan ran in 76 to challenge Ford and lost, but that was sort of like, hey, everybody knew Reagan was the better guy. We can't go against the sitting president of the United States. You had, I'm trying to think of people who won. Bush technically ran against Reagan. Well, Bush ran against Reagan in 80, but there was 8 years in between, and he was the vice president. Clinton ran once. Bush ran once. Obama ran once. Trump ran once. Biden ran 3 times. So it's a mixed bag, right? Yeah. It's a mixed bag on I think it's more or less, you got to give it time. I think that's sort of the lesson, right? Nixon tried to become governor of California and lost. Bush was the vice president. Biden, there was a huge gap between plagiarisms and running for president. So I think 8 years is probably, that'd be 12 years, right? Is that right? I'm trying to do math on the fly. It'll be 12 years if Rubio were to run or Cruz runs again. That'd be 12 years between the last time they ran for president.
How old do you think Ted Cruz is?
He has got to be in his he was young when he got elected, but he's been there since 2010, right? So he was in his mid 40s. I'll say Price is Right rules we go over?
Mhm.
All right, Kev, I'll let you go first. How old do you think Ted Cruz is? I'll let you have first stab at it. I got my number.
I think he's 56.
I was going to go with him being 55, but I bet Kevin is probably right. What's the number?
You're both over. He's 54.
Whoa!
December
Boy, he was-
22nd, 1970.
So he was like barely 40 years old when he was elected U.S. Senator from Texas.
Yeah.
Holy smokes.
So he probably ran on his youth then.
And they're still there. They're always still
Well,
there.
comparatively, he is young. It is Kendall Casey. It's 93 WIBC.
The government shutdown is now in day 7.
93 WIBC.
Some very good things could happen with respect to health care.
They're negotiating, but not face to face.
What happens next?
Nearly 1,200 people dead, deploying hundreds of National Guard troops.
Happens here.
The rage and hate was everywhere.
To enforce the laws of the United States.
Hear the news.
Air traffic controllers who have to keep working without pay have been calling out sick.
He is also suing. Fox should have known about Sanchez's propensity for drinking.
On air, online, and on Alexa.
Neighborhoods are popping up everywhere, but if you want something different than what you're currently seeing, Joyner Homes, based out of Greenfield, can build you a unique custom home on your own private lot or anywhere you can bring your own builder. They've built hundreds of homes across central Indiana. Visit Joyner Homes Model Homes or go to joynerhomes.com to see floor plans and pricing and more. With Joyner Homes, you can even start from scratch if you want. Check out their 5-star Google reviews and visit joynerhomes.com.
Fall in Indiana is prep season, the smart time to get your home ready before the temperatures drop and the snow gets here. Because here's the truth. Roof, siding, gutter, and window problems don't fix themselves. One missing shingle turns into a bad leak. Clogged gutters lead to ice dams. And drafty siding or bad insulation means sky-high heating bills all winter long. That's why you need Moss Roofing. Family owned right here in Indiana for over 30 years, Moss Roofing gives you a free, no-obligation inspection. They'll spot problems now, before the cold settles in, so you're not scrambling in January. And here's a bonus. Thanks to new energy tax credits and Indiana Energy Saver rebates, you can save big on insulation and efficiency upgrades. That's money back in your pocket while protecting your home. So don't wait. Call Moss Roofing today at 317-747-3665. Tell them Tony Katz sent you. 317-747-3665. Moss Roofing, 747-3665 or online at mossroofing.com. Get your home winter ready this fall with people you can trust. mossroofing.com every shingle time.
Greetings from R&R Agency, your Indiana health insurance pros, and a sincere thank you to our loyal customers for helping us to another record year. We recently saved a 62-year-old retiring couple over $800 monthly when compared to their COBRA offerings. We recently saved a family of 4 over $400 monthly when compared to their $7,500 deductible program on the ACA, and you know that's still Obamacare. We recently saved a small 4-man manufacturing company over $1,000 monthly and gave them better coverage. We feature coverages guaranteed to age 65, low out-of-pocket expenses, the largest networks in the country, and you can sign up anytime. If you are retiring early, self-employed, or need coverage for your small group, call us at 317-563-0868 or go to rragency.org. If you don't call us, we can't help you. What do you got to lose? Call us, 317-563-0868 or go to rragency.org. As always, God bless America, common sense government, and peace too strict.
Fall is in full swing at Wilson Farm Market. Bright mums, pumpkins, and gourds are waiting to bring color to your porch and table. Enjoy a fresh apple cider slush or Wilson's famous peach cider slush. The taste of fall in every sip. Inside, the ovens are busy with breads, pies, and treats you'll smell the moment you walk in. Hungry yet? Grab some crispy fried chicken or stop by the deli, salad bar, and cheese counter for easy meals to take home. Wilson Farm Market, right off US 31, just north of Westfield. Your fall favorites all in one stop. You ever wonder why Verizon charges twice as much as Pure Talk for the same basic service? Think it might have something to do with the fact that Verizon spends $12 billion a year on advertising and promotion. That's billion with a B. Yeah, Pure Talk doesn't spend that kind of money on commercials. That's why they can offer unlimited talk, text, and plenty of data on a blazing fast 5G network for just $25 a month. Save an additional 50% off your first month when you dial pound 250 and say the words Micro. That's pound 250, Micro.
Big headline from the Indy Star. Conflicts, confusion, and secrecy. 6 takeaways from the IEDC audit.
Oh.
Kayla Dwyer, Haley Colombo, friends of our program, on the story there. And this gives us an opportunity to remind you that I believe we're on day 7 since the IEDC audit, Indiana Economic Development Corporation audit, was released, in which it revealed 30 conflicts of interest.
Yes.
Hundreds of millions of dollars of your money that went out the door, much of it to companies, organizations, or friends of people making the decisions on where the money was going. Much of it spent on trips for state officials appointed and elected and their family members, foreign trips, people to sit on camels in front of pyramids, tickets to sporting events. A massive amount, a reasonable person would come to the conclusion that there was a massive amount of abuse and corruption involved in our money being disseminated without any clear return on investment to us as taxpayers.
Yeah. I still ask the question, how did Eric Holcomb sitting on a camel help me?
It didn't. It helped him.
Oh, there it is.
Also, how does a guy who was governor of the state of Indiana end up with a sprawling, I believe it's 20-plus acres of beautiful land on the north side of Brownsburg and a fabulous house to go with it? How does that person afford that?
He's really good with money.
Oh, sure. Yes, on his governor salary. Yes, absolutely, Casey. No doubt about that whatsoever. But the point is, we're 7 days on this, and other than one guy, the Tesla guy, what's his name?
Jake Teshka.
Teshka, thank you. I don't know why I always do that. I think I'm giving him the respect and decency he gives the taxpayers. I think that's why I do that, Casey. I think I just answered my own question.
I know you had a fight with him at one point, but I do think he's more conservative than some of them.
Well, his response was we need to, shore up the internal processes. Wasn't that his quote or something to that effect? So hundreds of millions of dollars. Well, I mean, it disappears is a strong word because we know where it went, but no clear benefit out of much of it. And we know 30 conflicts of interest existed. And your response, we need to shore up internal processes. That's, Mr. Representative, what you want to do. Now, we give him credit. He's one of the few people who said a damn word about this. And so you have one of the biggest stories, what should be one of the biggest stories in the history of this state, massive abuse of taxpayer money, hundreds of millions of dollars. Probably this audit was just 3 years, 22 to 24. If you extrapolate it over the life of the IEDC, you're probably at billions of dollars of bad behavior with public money. And hardly any of these reps or senators will say anything about it.
Some of the findings were referred to the Office of Inspector General, which seeks out waste, fraud, and abuse. It'll be interesting to see what their report comes out with. Ed Delaney and Senator Fatty Cadora, they both said that they want the Attorney General to be involved and they want legislative hearings. You've got the Senate President Rod Bray. He said that legislature will evaluate possible actions. I'm guessing they're going to wait to see if anything happens with the OIG.
Now, the one that gets me more than anyone, though, is the Lieutenant Governor, Micah Beckwith, who ran on this all over the state on what a corrupt, rotten, underhanded organization the IEDC is, has yet to say a word on any of this. He's the first politician in the history of ever, Casey, to be proven exactly right about something and refuse to point it out.
He's not taking his victory lap.
He's not taking anything. So the question has to be asked, what in the world happened to Micah Beckwith? This is literally the stuff he ran on. He ran on the idea of checks and balances. He ran on the idea of exposing who these people are and holding them to account. And then on one of his major issues that he talked about all across the state, he gets proven exactly right and not a peep.
And he's quiet about it.
Not a word. Nothing. He's basically in line with the governor on this, which is he's the cop on South Park. Okay, move along, nothing to see here. And, of course, they're mad at me now for pointing this out that he won't say a word. But how can a guy who can't sprint to the nearest camera fast enough have been proven totally correct on what these people are, and he said nothing? Nothing. Look, I know he's worried about some things that are going on. I know he's worried no matter what he says publicly about some things that are transpiring. I know he feels he's got to be totally subservient to Braun now because he foolishly believes Braun can and will protect him, which is why after they were part of the Delete Tweet Club, all here, whoever was running the Twitter account that day could come up with was same when Braun clapped back at Ryan Mears. Same.
Mm-hmm.
Well, same you deleted the tweet like Braun, or same you agree with Braun's new tweet? Don't know. But everyone should be asking themselves, have you ever heard of a politician ever, especially one who craves the limelight? This is how deep the IEDC stuff runs. A politician who craves attention like Micah. And he's proven exactly right, and not a word about it for 7 days.
He should take the win.
Well, it's too late now. I mean, you've got 7 days. Well, he did this on property taxes, too, where he went missing for 4 days and then, contradicted himself and then changed his mind the next day after people got pissed off at him when he went on Hammer and Nigel. So what is going on with this IEDC? This is the bigger question that everybody needs to be asking themselves. How is this organization that powerful that not a word will be said? And other than a couple Democrats, you're not hearing anything either. You notice that? A freebie. Here's the ball. Tap it in the hole, Happy. Little tap-aroo.
Mm-hmm.
And even the Democrats won't take it. This is how corrupt and rotten and underhanded this whole thing is, that none of these politicians, even the ones who ran on it, won't say a word.
It does seem like the tentacles are long. So there are a lot of concerns about the pay-to-play optics. Did you see that nearly half of the IEDC Foundation donors also received contracts or tax credits? Like, donate to this, and you've got a contract. We touched on that the other day. Somebody donated an undisclosed name. Of course, you're not allowed to know the name of the person or entity. Donated $2,500, and then they turned around and were awarded with $1 million contract.
Well, look, and the reason we spend so much time on it is it's everything we tell you on this show about what your government is. It's a glorified, legalized money laundering operation scheme.
They spent $11.9 million on luxury travel and entertainment on our dime, the taxpayers' dime. $4.3 million in flights, $2.8 million of hotel, $2 million in event planning, $1 million for travel agencies, $800,000 for meals and catering.
They're all freebies, Casey.
Mm-hmm.
And all of these politically, and again, I come back to, this is telling, if you're hearing our voice right now, the IEDC and the lack of response from people in your government to this audit of the IEDC, the facts aren't in dispute. We're giving you the facts, the information from the forensic audit. And all of these politically motivated people, and yet there's a freebie right here for anyone to raise their hand and say, I will lead on this. I will clean this up. I will keep this at the forefront. I will talk about this, including a guy who got elected to the second highest office in the state doing it, and nobody says anything.
Well, Braun did say that his intent was to restructure and call for greater transparency. So perhaps they're waiting on marching orders.
I thought he said we were moving on. Didn't he say we were moving on?
That too. We're moving on to greater transparency. You're listening to Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Were they trying to push it through? I'm Jarrett Lewis. Here's what's trending at 11:30, brought to you by Moss Roofing. Tension at Monday night's City-County Council meeting over the $1.7 billion budget vote, as Indianapolis Republicans said Democrats were cutting off debate and rushing the approval.
Right now, I'm absolutely enraged by how they silenced so many voices by calling the question and then passing that movement to do that. I didn't even, as the minority leader, have an opportunity to speak because I was letting my other counselors in my caucus speak.
Councilor Brian Mowry slammed the council's move to end debate on the budget, calling it a disgusting censorship. The man who says he was attacked by Mark Sanchez in downtown Indianapolis last weekend is now suing Sanchez and Fox for the attack that left injuries to his head and neck. A battery charge against Sanchez was upgraded to a felony on Monday. A construction worker is hit and killed by a school bus in Howard County, and Indiana State Police say they've identified the remains of a woman missing since 1999. I'm Jarrett Lewis on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Don Fisher for QC Kinetics. I was struggling with chronic knee pain and wasn't encouraged with the options of risky surgery and pain pills. QC Kinetics offered the best option for me, cutting-edge regenerative medicine. Their non-invasive treatment stimulated my body's own biologics so I could be pain-free and get back to doing what I love, playing golf. QC Kinetics has a fantastic success rate, and it's clear to see why so many Hoosiers are happy to tell their story of how they reclaim their lives with the QC Kinetics approach. Ready to live your life pain-free? Go to qckinetics.com/Indianapolis or call 317-559-PAIN and get a no-obligation consultation. QC Kinetics uses the latest technologies, whether it's stem cell, PRP, plasma, or a number of other advanced therapies. Call QC Kinetics. It'll be the best call you will make. Get back in the game, whatever that is for you. Call 317-559-PAIN.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use? Now what?
I had a friend that went to My Computer Career.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu. My Computer Career, an elite CompTIA certification partner.
It worked for me, and I know it can work for you.
This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
Custom jewelry is not out of reach with PA Jewelers at the Farmhouse. At PA Jewelers, you can customize any piece of jewelry for that special someone. PA Jewelers at the Farmhouse in Brownsburg. Gold, diamonds, gemstones, and of course those watches from Flederman Von Riest, assembled right here in Indiana. Custom designed jewelry with PA Jewelers at the Farmhouse. Custom jewelry made just for you. PA Jewelers, 3750 South Green Street in Brownsburg. 317-456-4010. PAJewelers.jewelry.
If you're experiencing a hardship and need to quickly sell your home, we may be able to help.
I'm excited to start the new chapter of my life. I'm going to be moving 2 states away to be with my husband. Simple Quarters did not drag anything out. Simple Quarters wanted to get this done as quickly as I did, which was fantastic. I had the offer, I believe, within 2 hours of them coming through and doing the walkthrough. It just couldn't have worked out better. It really couldn't have.
Call Simple Quarters 317-900-HOME.
You've got your whole life ahead of you, so choose a Medicare plan you can count on. If you're living with a chronic condition like diabetes, chronic heart failure, or a cardiovascular disorder, you might count on extra support with your healthcare too. That's why United Healthcare offers chronic special needs plans with extra benefits and a large provider network to choose from. Visit uhc.com/Medicare to find out if you qualify today. United Healthcare Medicare plans. It's Medicare coverage Indiana can count on. Provider network may vary in local market.
My brother never checks on Dad. Or, my sister won't make time to take Mom to the doctor. Are these things you've heard yourself say? This is Tina McIntosh, president of Joy's House and co-host of the Caregiver Crossing radio program. I have a caregiving tip for you. Stay tuned.
Cardon & Associates provides residents with the best senior living options and personalized service. Visit cardon.us to find a community near you.
Expressing anger or resentment toward unsupportive siblings can cause unmendable rifts in relationships. Don't try to control everyone else. You can only control yourself. The success of your caregiving journey does not rest on others. So enjoy the time with your loved one. This is your special time with them. More tips like this are available anytime at caregivercrossingradio.org. With new weekly content created by Joy's House and distributed in partnership with Network Indiana, we're an on-air and online support group for Hoosier family caregivers. Hear conversations with experts, access a library of online education, and more at caregivercrossingradio.org.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone.
Lower T?
Yeah, I went through it a while back. Once you hit 40, your body has less free testosterone. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The key ingredient is something called Tesnor, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again, at work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text SAVVY to 42424 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T, the #1 selling testosterone booster at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast, absolutely free. Text SAVVY to 42424. That's SAVVY to 42424.
At Price Point Comfort, we promise you'll never be sold something you don't need. Call us at 317-455-1124 or see us at PricePointComfort.com.
Price Point Comfort is your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air dealer.
shoes.
What? A couple. What's going on with LeBron James?
I don't know. Your husband told me last night he was retiring.
That was the big speculation, right? But now people are saying no, maybe not. So do you remember back in...
Wait. Can we go back for a second? Okay,
Yeah.
because I need you to relay a message to your husband, okay?
Sure. He's probably listening.
If he's going to change his mind on something big...
You need to know.
He's got to tell me he changed his mind because he and I were on the same wavelength, I thought, and then you told me last night he had a change of heart.
Well, when you talked to him, he was thinking it was LeBron James retiring. By the time we went to bed, he said, I don't know if that's it.
You tell him in the future, even if it's 12:30 in the morning, he's got to text me and let me
Right,
know.
because you wake up every morning at 3:15, so you would see that information
exactly right.
before the sun came up.
So your listeners going, what are they talking about? So LeBron James is entering his 23rd season in the NBA. Now, the great debate going on now is he the greatest player of all time? I think the consensus of most people is it's Michael Jordan, but I know there are some big LeBron fans who think it's him. Any of us with an IQ above 7 say it's Michael Jordan. So there's a real, back and forth on this. He set all the scoring record, et cetera. There's nothing he's got left to prove. He was the best at going to somebody else's team and winning a championship. Nobody did that better than LeBron. But he said, I got some big announcement coming up.
Well,
and nobody knows what it is. And then the whole thing started, well, it's going to be announced he's going to retire. But then people are, because it was like, okay, let me go back here. When he left the Cleveland Cavaliers, which is when the stain started on LeBron, he left the Cleveland Cavaliers to go to the Miami Heat. He did this big...
The decision.
Right. ESPN.
Yeah.
Nobody knew what he was going to say.
It was a 75-minute special.
Yes.
It aired in 2010.
For him to say one sentence, I'm going to the Miami Heat.
Right.
And then he teased, basically, it's like the big announcement 2.0 or whatever they were calling it.
The second decision.
Thank you, yes. And so your husband and I were talking because we were going, he's going to retire. And Prem was like, he wouldn't retire right before the season starts because the preseason games are starting. I don't think he would do that. But then your husband was like, Jim said, well, he's going to look horrible if it's I'm going to doing something with Amazon or, whatever it might be. And I said, you know what, Jim, you're right.
Yeah.
He's going to look like a complete idiot if he doesn't. I'll go with you. He's going to retire. And then you told me Jim changed his mind.
He was questioning it. Well, LeBron had expressed regret about the presentation of the decision back in 2010. So imagine the regret he would have for the second decision if he's not announcing his retirement.
Well, when's it come out?
It's supposed to come out.
It turns out, I think they already released the ad, and it was just a part of a Hennessy partnership.
They were supposed to do it at noon today. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, so he did not retire.
So he done it twice. He's burned everybody.
Well,
I guess he didn't burn people the first time. He screwed the people in Cleveland. That's the only people he burned.
Everybody was thinking maybe this was tied to Amazon because he's got a business partnership with Amazon. So what is it, Kevin? What did he announce?
So it was just a video. It was a part of his ad partnership with Hennessy.
Oh, people are going to be so mad about this. Yeah, it just came down. It leaked out early. It was supposed to be noon. You're right. And it came out early while we were doing this final hour of the radio program.
So is it another 75-minute special?
No, I think it's just
Or is it just like a 30-second commercial?
No, I think it's just like he's just doing some thing with Hennessy. Okay.
Yeah, it's like a minute-long ad on Twitter.
Yeah, it's an ad.
Fans are going to be so bummed about this because they were really hoping for something a little bit more meaningful than just a brand partnership.
And this is why I'm frustrated with your husband because this is where I was. It was going to be this. And then he talked me out of it. And I woke up all this morning thinking, okay, Jim, nobody knows basketball like Jim. He's going to retire. And he changed his mind, which is fine. But you got to tell me.
Yeah, he did. Before we went to bed last night, he said, yeah, no, I don't think it's a retirement. I think it's going to be something else. So I'm sorry. That information was not relayed to you, Rob. From now on, I'll bring you into the conversation.
People are going to be...
Even at bedtime.
People are going to hate him over this, aren't they? I mean, he's like,
I
what a
think people
letdown.
are going to be really disappointed by that because they built it up like there's a second decision.
Okay, you're the media person here. That sounds funny to say because we're both technically in media, but you understand pop culture and media and advertising and I get that there's he got a ton of extra publicity for it.
Right.
But does it anger people to the point where I'm not going to use the product?
Yeah, they could turn people off to it. I think that'll go away though, because if you're a super fan of LeBron, which I am not, you're gonna, if he says go buy this product, you might, okay, I'll give it a shot.
Even if he
at least once to see if I like it.
Led you astray.
Yeah. There's going to be some people that are disappointed about that. Sorry. What a bummer, huh?
This is why you don't let your friends talk you into things, because I was right. Should have just trusted my instinct. And then my friend who changed his mind didn't even tell me.
But kudos to Kevin for having the information. Good job. That was some quick research.
Kevin used the
part.
internet. Good job, Kev. Kev was like, I bet that leaked out. Let me look and see what it was.
Yeah. All right. It is Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC.
Take me out.
Coming up on the Hammer and Nigel show, more fallout from the Mark Sanchez arrest. Plus, is the government still shut down? 3 o'clock, 93 WIBC.
Fall in Indiana is prep season, the smart time to get your home ready before the temperatures drop and the snow gets here. Because here's the truth. Roof, siding, gutter, and window problems don't fix themselves. One missing shingle turns into a bad leak. Clogged gutters lead to ice dams. And drafty siding or bad insulation means sky-high heating bills all winter long. That's why you need Moss Roofing. Family-owned right here in Indiana for over 30 years, Moss Roofing gives you a free, no-obligation inspection. They'll spot problems now, before the cold settles in, so you're not scrambling in January. And here's a bonus. Thanks to new energy tax credits and Indiana Energy Saver rebates, you can save big on insulation and efficiency upgrades. That's money back in your pocket while protecting your home. So don't wait. Call Moss Roofing today at 317-747-3665. Tell them Tony Cat sent you. 317-747-3665. Moss Roofing, 747-3665, or online at mossroofing.com. Get your home winter ready this fall with people you can trust. mossroofing.com, every shingle time.
Picture this. Your career ends, your paycheck stops. Suddenly you're conducting your retirement with no sheet music. Don't let that happen. I'm Jason Hutchins, and after years of guiding Hoosier families through retirement planning, I put together some of the most important lessons into one simple, easy-to-read book, Orchestrate Your Retirement, a guide to composing a financially tuned plan. Get a copy mailed to you at no cost. Call 317-660-929. That's 317-660-929. This book is packed with real-world stories and strategies on income, Social Security, taxes, and how to protect what you've worked so hard to build. Call Guardian Wells Financial at 317-660-929. That's 660-929, and ask for your copy. No pressure, no strings attached. Supplies are limited, so when they're gone, they're gone. Orchestrate your retirement. The rhythm of your future starts here.
Investment advisory services offered through Creative One Wealth LLC, a registered investment advisor. Guardian Wealth Financial is not affiliated with Creative One Wealth or with any government agency. Licensed insurance professionals.
Greetings from R&R Agency, your Indiana health insurance pros, and a sincere thank you to our loyal customers for helping us to another record year. We recently saved a 62-year-old retiring couple over $800 monthly when compared to their COBRA offerings. We recently saved a family of 4 over $400 monthly when compared to their $7,500 deductible program on the ACA, and you know that's still Obamacare. We recently saved a small 4-man manufacturing company over $1,000 monthly and gave them better coverage. We feature coverages guaranteed to age 65, low out-of-pocket expenses, the largest networks in the country, and you can sign up anytime. If you are retiring early, self-employed, or need coverage for your small group, call us at 317-563-0868 or go to rragency.org. If you don't call us, we can't help you. What are you going to lose? Call us 317-563-0868 or go to rragency.org. As always, God bless America, common sense government, and peace through strict.
I'm Dwight Freeney, and my friend Eli is alive today thanks to someone who said yes to organ donation. When Eli was just 12 years old, he received a liver transplant that saved his life because someone just like you said yes to being an organ donor. His story and many others like his are why I have teamed up with Indiana Donor Network and Donate Life Indiana to help end the wait for life-saving organs. You can help. Say yes to being an organ donor next time you are at the BMV.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone.
Lower T?
Yeah, I went through it a while back. Once you hit 40, your body has less free testosterone. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The key ingredient is something called Tesnor, which helps boost free and total testosterone testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again, at work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text SAVVY to 42424 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T, the #1 selling testosterone booster at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast, absolutely free. Text SAVVY to 42424. That's SAVVY to 42424.
Snap it. Send it. Hear it. Your photos, your video, your voice on WIBC. Join the text club by texting WIBC to 317-239-9393.
I've been working real hard trying to get my hands clean. We'll drive that dusty road from Mondo to Angeline to buy you gold.
Okay, look, I know this is sort of a reoccurring theme on our program.
Yeah.
But it sucks to drive to work every day.
I tell you what, I left early today and I was so proud of myself. I'm like, oh, this is great. I'm going to get there. I'm going to have lots of time. And then I pull onto Washington and right away I was stopped. First of all, a big cement truck pulled out in front of me.
Oh, that's
no big deal. He's on his way to work, but they move a little bit slower.
Yes,
you know?
very much.
But the thing was, I could not pass him because there's like a maze you have to go through on Washington again. It was clear for like 3 days when you could actually move at a decent pace.
Yep.
Nope. They're back to lane restrictions.
So basically, the mayor decided you had too much happiness in your life, being able to have a clear path to work.
I want to put a stop to that right now.
Like, if you don't drive, if you're hearing our voice right now, and you don't drive in the greater downtown area, you can't begin to appreciate how awful.
It's so frustrating.
And it's like everywhere. That's what I think. Sometimes I feel like maybe, we try, but you can't emphasize it's everywhere. Everything is shut down or delayed. Like every point of entry, basically, to the greater downtown area, you cannot go a desired route. You have to maneuver in another fashion. And, I was telling you before when on air, I said there was a great Nintendo game that I played as a kid. It was called Paperboy.
Yeah.
And the whole premise of Paperboy was you had to get the papers on the doorstep. You were a little kid on a bike, and there were all of these things that would get in your way to try to stop you, and you'd have to ride the bike around the things. And that's basically what the city has become, is a real-life game of Paperboy, only I'm in a large automobile.
Right.
And
not a bicycle.
And this isn't a game, it's my life. and for you, I bet it's just especially frustrating because the one benefit of where you chose to live was I'm very close to my job.
Right. It should not be taking me this long to get into work every morning. It's why I chose to live in downtown Indianapolis.
Tony mentioned this earlier. I know we got into earlier when we were talking about the city pass and the budget. And he's right about this in the sense of, what are we trying to be as a city? There is no clear vision of that. And whether it's you who literally lives right outside of the greater downtown area, you're getting screwed. Whether it's me who has lived in the suburbs for 40 years, I'm getting screwed. My commute is a good 10 to 15 minutes longer, and that's without the maze. This is just because of all the bus lines and everything else. Like if everything were operating as intended, and you just say to these people in charge, what are you trying to do?
What is going on? So there was a long line of traffic, and you could see cars turning around, trying to find alternate routes. They're like, no, I'm not going to do this.
The move of despair.
Yeah, and so finally a lot of cars got through the line, and then I was up next, and guess what happened?
What?
The guy with the stop sign walked right out in front of my car, so I had to stop and wait for the other lane, the other traffic going the opposite direction, to have their turn through the one section that's open.
And I think the thing, I don't know if you feel this way, one of the things that is most frustrating to me is if they were just like major road upgrades where you would say, because I'm understanding of that, like, hey,
if you're filling the potholes, wonderful.
Right, hey, this thing's 50 years old and we got to do whatever. I get it. But the things that are causing the delays are things that will be of zero benefit to me. Some stupid bus line that nobody rides anyway.
Right.
Or a taxpayer-funded hotel, which shut down Illinois. And it's like, these things are not a benefit to society as a collective. They're bright, shiny object projects that don't in any way benefit the daily person who uses, the common public service.
Yeah.
In the city.
I know it's aggravating, and all of that money going towards it
Sure.
as well.
I've thought about that numerous times as I've been having to take side roads, back alleys. That I think that is what pisses me off the most, is that the things that are causing my grief are never going to benefit me in any shape, form, or fashion.
Right, even when it's all done, you're still going to be frustrated because you won't even be using the bus.
That's correct. Or the hotel.
Or many other people. That's the thing. This is all taxpayer funded, right? So maybe you should get a free night in the hotel. Or at least I should.
You should go suggest that to the mayor. In fact, when you get off the air today, you should head over to the city county building and suggest that to the mayor. So I think here I have a great idea.
Since I help pay for this?
Absolutely.
Can this be the Casey Daniels wing of
Sure.
the hotel?
No, absolutely. Definitely.
Right. I don't know if you saw this article about Americans being scammed. And this happens to me all the time. In fact, it happened last night.
Uh-oh.
As I sent you that text about how I was being asked to take another survey.
Now, you do think that was a scam?
Actually, they were asking questions about Indianapolis public schools.
So you got a link, online survey link, like a text.
Yeah.
Click here. Now, do you click them?
I did last night. It was
Ooh.
Jen from CS Research wanted to ask me a couple questions.
No, I'd love to take a poll, but I'm not clicking a link from a stranger on the internet. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. Like, if you call me, I will take it.
I did. I clicked the link, and it was 2 questions. They asked me how likely I was to vote, and then about Indianapolis public schools. And it was 2 questions. That was it. And I don't know if I answered the question incorrectly, because had I answered it a different way, maybe there would have been more questions.
Oh, yeah.
But it was only 2 questions. But right now, Americans are getting 9 spam calls a day, 9 fraudulent emails,
Wow.
and 7 suspicious text messages every week. 25 separate scam encounters in just 7 days.
Now, the spam calls, they seem to come in waves. Do you notice that? Where it's like you'll get a whole bunch, and then they'll stop, and then they like pick back up again. I don't know why that is. Is that just me, or does that happen to you too?
No, it's been happening to me a lot, and I've been getting the call about my house and if I'm willing to sell. And what is my bottom dollar willing to sell it? Now, I don't know if that's a scam call or just one of these corporations that's trying to buy up property.
Yeah.
But I, of course, always elevate the asking price, and they say, is that your bottom? Because, we're going to cover the closing costs for everything and any upgrades. And I always tell them, yeah, that's the bottom line. That's it.
Yeah.
And then they proceed to tell me they'll call back again someday.
Oh, and they never do.
And no, they do the next day. The very next day, and I go through the process again. One of these times, they're going to say yes and give me a whole bunch more money.
Well, on that note, good luck on your drive home.
Oh, thanks. You too. Thank you, Rob. Thank you, Kevin. Thank you for listening today. This has been Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC.
It's time. You've been putting off that kitchen or bath remodel long enough. What are you waiting for? Get started today with Boer Remodeling. Boer Remodeling customer Kathy had a bath remodel with Boer. Kathy, talk a little bit about your experience.
Our experience with Boer has been terrific. The process was so easy and seamless. When we decided to do a larger remodel of our first floor, Boer was the first company we thought of hiring.
And were you happy with the results?
The results are amazing, and we are so happy with our home and the work that Boer did.
Peter is another recent Boer Remodeling customer with a new kitchen. Peter, what was the best part about working with Boer?
We especially liked the active participation that we were able to have in selection of stone for the countertops. Really came out beautiful. The cabinets also came out very, very well.
The best materials, the most skilled craftsmen in Central Indiana. They'll guide you through the entire process. Start with a free consultation. Talk to Boer Remodeling today. That's BOOHER, BoerRemodeling.com.
So what's in the bag today? Yesterday's leftovers? Another lunch meat sandwich? Well, go ahead and pull up a rock and settle in for a half hour of I wish I was eating something else. Or you could be eating something else, or someplace else. If you're brown bagging it at the corner of 30th and Shadeland area, drop over to His Place Eatery for 30 minutes of why didn't I know about this place sooner? Nothing fancy, not a lot of frills. They save that for the quality of the meal. like ribs that fall off the bone, southern fried chicken, sides that will cause your taste buds to thank you into tomorrow. Put that in your brown bag and eat it. Better yet, bank the bag. Go to His Place Eatery at the corner of 30th and Shadeland, or the newest location off 86th and Ditch Road. Your dirty boots and work clothes are welcome here. His Place, your place for lunch. Go to hisplaceeatery.com to learn more.
At Advent, we help sleep apnea sufferers avoid the CPAP machine by getting your nose and throat working with our unique Advent approach that you won't find elsewhere.
You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You've still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
On the level, on the go. 93 WIBC Indianapolis.
Coming up,
the stuff to the north is going to move to the east.
Not controlling what we can control here in the city.
Democrats and Republicans have worked together to pass 13 CRs.
It's accusing the gaming platform of prioritizing profits over safety.
This is the WIBC News at noon.
It's about to change quite a bit. Showers on radar, a cloudy sky, 72 degrees on Monument Circle. I'm John Herrick. Here's what's trending at 12 noon. Rain has been falling all across Indiana today.
The stuff to the north is going to move to the east and a little bit south throughout the day. So we might get a little bit of a pickup this afternoon into the evening with just some light rain showers. And then that will move off as we head into the overnight period.
Aaron Updike with the National Weather Service in Indianapolis says once we get into Wednesday, there's no rain on the horizon for at least the next week. High temperatures for October in Indiana are normally around the 70-degree mark. They're about to drop more towards that as the week goes on.
However, we are going to see a warm-up this weekend into early next week where temperatures are going to start getting back towards the upper 70s to near 80. So this little seasonal stretch will be rather brief, and we'll get back into warmer than normal for next week.
And Updike says you might also see frost both Wednesday and Thursday. Some Indianapolis Republicans aired their frustration Monday as the nearly $2 billion budget cleared the council. Ryan Hedrick explains.
I didn't even, as the minority leader, have an opportunity to speak because I was letting my other counselors in my caucus speak before I did.
Indianapolis City County Council Minority Leader Brian Mowry says it's time for city leaders to figure out what's a pet project versus what's a real project.
We saw more punting down in the other end of Market Street than we've seen the Colts do all season. Punting the blame on everything to the other end of Market Street, but we're not controlling what we can control here in the city.
The $1.7 billion budget passed Monday night along party lines 17-8. Ryan Hedrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
Speaking of governments managing money, the government shutdown is now in its 7th day. Lawmakers in Washington tried to pass a spending bill on Monday and could not get it done. This was House Speaker Mike Johnson speaking on Capitol Hill to reporters this morning.
Democrats and Republicans have worked together to pass 13 CRs to keep the government open under the Biden administration in the previous 4-year term. Democrats supported every CR close to unanimously in the House and the Senate.
And Democrats are demanding more health care subsidies to slow the rising cost of premiums, along with a rollback of Republican cuts to Medicaid. President Trump says he's open to a deal on health care, but he says the government has to reopen first. A woman went missing almost 2 decades ago, and now there's been a break in the case. Johnette Cruz explains.
There's been major progress in an Indiana cold case. Indiana State Police have identified human remains found in Owen County over 20 years ago as part of a multi-agency effort.
We were able to identify Deanna Smith of Indianapolis, who had been reported missing in 1999.
Sergeant Kevin Getz.
Again, her remains were found in 2003 in Owen County.
The investigation is classified as a homicide and remains active. Authorities are urging anyone with information about Deanna Smith or her death to contact the Indiana State Police Cold Case Unit. Johnette Cruz, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
What happened to a construction worker and what's going on with Roblox. Those stories and more next on 93 WIBC.
Coming up on Tony Katz today, will Hamas and Israel come to a deal on returning hostages? And does Netanyahu have his numbers right? That's after the news at noon on 93 WIBC.
Well, Tony, today is the second anniversary of the October 7th attack on Israel. President Trump will spend today with a freed Israeli-American hostage. Fox's Jared Halpern.
21-year-old Idan Alexander was held hostage by Hamas for 584 days before his release in May, thought to be the last surviving American hostage in Gaza. Alexander is an Israeli-American citizen from New Jersey and was one of more than 250 people kidnapped on October 7th, 2023. The White House says Alexander will meet with President Trump this afternoon. The president is signaling the war in Gaza could come to an end soon as Israeli and Hamas negotiators are finalizing details of a 20-point peace plan proposed by President Trump. At the White House, Jared Halpern, Fox News.
The gaming platform Roblox is being taken to court by the state of Kentucky over child safety concerns. With more on that, here's Fox's Jeff Manasso.
Kentucky Attorney General Russell Coleman in the state civil suit is alleging consumer protection violations, saying that Roblox has insufficient guardrails for children, exposing them to child predators, to violence, and to sexually explicit material. Also citing Charlie Kirk assassination simulators, which cropped up on Roblox in the aftermath of Kirk's murder last month. Roblox, that has 85 million daily users with an annual revenue of $3.6 billion, telling Fox Business that it's removed 100 games and counting. It's the latest in a growing list of legal actions and complaints accusing the gaming platform of prioritizing profits over safety. Jeff Manasso, Fox News.
Back in Indiana, where a Logansport man was killed while directing traffic just east of Kokomo. Jarrett Lewis reports.
The man working in a construction zone Monday afternoon when he was struck by a school bus that was hit by a pickup truck. According to Indiana State Police, the bus was working its way across State Road 22 when the Dodge truck was heading eastbound on the road and crashed into the bus. The collision moved the bus into 31-year-old Aaron Esparza and killed him. The bus driver from the Northwestern School Corporation had minor injuries. She also had 8 children on board who were not injured. State police are now investigating the crash. Jarrett Lewis, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
And tonight, the preseason begins for the Indiana Pacers when they face the Minnesota Timberwolves at 8 o'clock. Pacer forward Isaiah Jackson missed all of last season with an injury, and he says he's getting back into the swing of things.
I think just getting back into it, just learning the plays, learning reads and stuff. I think that's the main challenge right now, but playing with those guys, it's pretty simple.
And you can hear tonight's game on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan. Taking a look at the stock market right now, everything coming up in the red at the moment. The Dow Jones down 191 points, the S&P off 30, and the NASDAQ is down 150 points. I'm John Herrick on The Level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
This hour powered by Price Point Comfort Heating and Cooling, your independent American Standard Air dealer.
Live from the heartland and the crossroads of America, it's Tony Katz Today.
The details. I don't know.
Well, maybe we ought to get Attorney General Garland here. Do you know if the special counsel told